Welcome to episode 6 of On the Rocks. Your boy, Marcellus Wiley, that dude. We about to talk some Super Bowl preview as we recap everything that happened this weekend. I am still repping Bills Mafia. I hate when the cat wears it before the game and then they lose, they don't wear it no more. Yeah. I was about to donate it. And I was like, hell no, put that thing back on. And for some reason, about 5 years ago, everybody who used to play became legends. Yeah. And I thought that was for players that were really good. All of us. I'm a legend. I'm a legend. So I am repping Bills Mafia to the fullest. But we're going to talk all games right here. Who I got next to me?
Yes, sir. Your boy Hatchie Hatch is in the building. Let's talk Super Bowl. Let's talk how the Chiefs cheated, not cheated.
Oh,
we're going to get to that. Oh, I'm sorry. No, we just going to get right into it. Do the power.
Man, it's Donald Penn. Sad to say, man, them Chiefs, they keep doing it.
we might as well.
Somebody better call Pete Carroll. This Raider fan over here is struggling.
Hey, they keep doing it, but we'll get into that I'll get to that more once we get going, though. But yeah, man, my props off, man. You got to respect it, though. You got to respect it, sir. Yeah. As much as I ain't want to see it done, I got to respect it, man. I'm a realist, and
you're not a hater. Even though you were hating before, I know. You come to your senses and realize
he's matured.
Exactly. It's a Mahomes.
You got to after seeing that.
Yeah. Speaking of respect, let's give some love to Triple OG over there.
Richie Porter, and I'm here to cause Hatch problems.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Lord Jesus. Hey, I'm out.
Based on the audience and some of the feedback I'm getting, they like you because you will cause problems with everybody. They're like, whoever the old school is in there, they be like Salt and Pepper's here.
And we're in effect.
Yes.
We're in effect.
I love it.
Carver Wright, go Birds, go Eagles. Shout out to the Eagles for making it today a lovely day today. Can't wait to talk about the Super Bowl. Let's go.
All right. Well, I won't make you wait long. We're going to start there. All right. Let's start with that Eagles-Commanders game, which I ain't going to lie, I didn't see that coming. I didn't see how dirty that game was going to be played by the Commanders. Now, I don't believe in, we just lost the ball. No, we forced turnovers. They went out there punching that ball out. They went out there in those conditions and said, we're going to take this ball to y'all. Congratulations. Y'all back where y'all started, which is last time we was in that Super Bowl, we saw them Chiefs. Maybe this is a revenge game, or maybe it's just the same old Chiefs stomping through what you're seeing. But first, we got to go what happened in that Commanders game.
In that Commanders game, man, I'm talking about 7 touchdowns, over 100 yards rushing for Saquon, over 200 yards rushing.
What you analyst?
I'm just letting you know. I was watching the game and I was excited about
that right here.
I was excited about it.
Okay, what else?
Carver became Bucky Brooks over the weekend.
I'm in the seat today, so he's not here. So I just need my glasses and I'll be able to hold it down like Bucky.
Come on, website.
We out here balling right now, man. Like another turnover on kickoff. We talked about it earlier. And then you guys said it was a fluke. You can't do that every game. Here it is the second time in the playoffs right here. Like, so, I mean, the defense and special teams are coming to play. And
how many y'all score? 55?
It was 55. Man,
I don't want to hear about the defense and special teams.
What do the kids call it when they carry the belt, when they shaking hands? What do they call it?
But when you start off any game with a run like that, I don't care who you are, it's gonna take that out of you.
Yeah.
What does that do for offensive linemen?
I mean, it pumps us.
What would that do for you?
It pumps us up. We did it one time against Buffalo when I was in Tampa. No, I'm saying
when he was on the D-line. Basically,
no, he wasn't playing. He wasn't playing. No, we did it the first play. He wasn't playing, but we did the first play of the game, and that momentum just kept it going. It was really nothing Buffalo could do because that first play of the game took it to the house. But the way we did it just straight. The way Saquon did it, breaking all those tackles, just made it even nastier. It was just like,
You know what the worst part of that is? Obviously, the balloon got a little hole in it already, right? And you come out there, you're saying, we're going to shut down Saquon. Now, you know you're lying to yourself. You're trying to really just slow him down. But we already lied to ourselves. And there's nothing worse than when they remind you that you shouldn't have been lying to yourself. And the first play, I told you, stop BSing with yourself. And now you fighting not only the opponent in a different color, you fighting yourself and your own inner demons because Uncle Mo knows when you feeling good and when you feeling bad.
So again, the definition of greatness, right? It's being great when it's time to be great. And Saquon showed, right? It's the moment. Because a lot of people show up in the moment and then they're not getting better, right? They kind of like, they fall off. This is a championship game to go to the Super Bowl. Who's going to play their best? Yeah. And Saquon came and showed everybody that he should be in the NFL MVP race.
That line you said, we have to save it before we get back to the next game. But we're going to keep talking about that. I want you to remember that line.
Oh, for sure.
We're going to keep talking about this.
Remember last week I said, what's going to happen to Washington if they get hit in the mouth early? They haven't been there before. And that was shocking. Even as a viewer, 60-yard run the first time you touch the ball in a divisional championship, that's shocking.
That's good.
Yeah, that's Pop Warner. That's happening in Pop Warner.
Right.
Like, y'all heard number 3 really good. God dang, number 3 number good. You know what I mean? Like,
I told you.
I told you. His mama got a can full of beans. That's my bad.
And the red cup.
And the red cup. She like, I told you, girl, we making it. So,
But they seen it twice this season though already. But like
But again,
I do understand what
to
you.
another next level.
It's another
That's what
level. I
definitely
mean,
did.
also too, like the dominance that Saquon had, but also the dominance that Jalen Hurts came out and had as well. 4 touchdowns, no turnovers, over 200 yards passing.
did you say over 200?
Over 200.
Hold on.
Is that what a standard is for Jalen?
That's not an accomplishment, but I understand what you're saying.
For an Eagles fan.
It's over 400 yards of offense with no turnovers, not a fumble, not
Oh,
an
we love you.
interception.
We love you.
Like that's impressive. And so we can't. I mean, these defenses are good. Like you guys know how good these guys are and how hard it is to score points and be successful in the NFL. So when you come out and you establish that type of dominance and don't turn the ball over, it's got to be celebrated.
Let's
All
talk
right, so-
about how this happened.
No, go ahead.
Divisional games. You're so familiar with them that no matter how sorry we are, how good you are, we're going to play y'all tight.
Yep.
Like, no matter what fight we've been in, you're going to look at your knuckles and know you've been in a fight, right? Then you take it to the next level. You up the ante and say, nah, this is the NFC Championship game, homie. So don't think this is all cool and sweet. We ain't friendly like that. We not familiar because you haven't been as a collective in this moment like we have. Like we had Jalen take us to the Super Bowl before. We've been through this process before. So now, you ever like get somewhere and, look at, I'm from LA. I was like, somebody start busting. But no, seriously, something bad happened and everybody tries to go to the emergency exit. Like, how we get out of here? But if you've been there before, you know I ain't going the way everybody going. I know the shortcut, I know the alley. I'm gonna make this right when they go left. And I swear, when you set the tone with that first play and you're that comfortable to know, oh, it's a lot of ways out of here, homie. That's what happened. It looked like.
But you got to understand, if that first drive that Washington had, they went for it on 4th down twice, and then didn't even get 7 out of it.
They got
so it's
3,
like,
though.
They got 3.
But you got to understand, after
They wanted 7,
after
though.
going and doing that, and then
That was your best punch.
you,
And it
you
didn't
feel what I'm
work.
saying?
Yeah.
Then the next, then Philly gets the ball, and they're bound to smack you in the face. But nah, all right, we got all the Philly love though. But let's be honest, Washington gave the ball away with three turnovers. All right, y'all okay?
It wasn't
given away.
It wasn't. I don't.
Well, you know
think
what? I will give you. Go ahead.
It wasn't the penalty. I mean, it wasn't the turnovers. It was the penalties. Right? They just couldn't get off the field on 3rd down because of them penalties. That before going into that the first half, right? At the end of the first half, if they would have got out of there with that field goal or 0 points, they might have missed the field goal. Then Washington goes down and ties it up. You have a tie ball game at the half. And it just turned after those 3 penalties in a row.
Yep, I do remember
Personal
that.
foul, Latimer doing his thing with Brown in the end zone. All that stuff changed all the momentum, and all of a sudden you're going into halftime like we don't even have a shot.
You know what? This is funny. Listen to this. Matthew Hatchett, first of all, congratulations. Can we say it?
No, we can't, actually.
We can't?
No.
Damn it. All right, no congratulations. I know some of y'all don't know. We're going to congratulate them sooner or later. But you sound like somebody who's trying to, clean something up, to get the mental makeup of your team back. There was no way Washington was going to win that game. Some days you just go out there and be like, oh, there's nothing. Whether it's penalties, whether it's turnovers, whether it was just the personnel that we knew, whether it was the moment, it all added up to like, dog, when they tasted that soup, they was like, what the hell is this?
This ain't us.
This ain't us.
Here's why, though. Philadelphia was playing with 4 downs every time they had the ball. They only have to get 7 to 8 yards on the first 3 downs, which is easy as an offense because they know with that tush push, they got the characteristics of those bigs up front. We better than anybody in the world at this.
Yeah.
We don't have to be don't have to be an inch. It can be 2 yards. It can be 3 yards. We still go do it. We go get a first down. So really that offense all day, like you said, they know that we're going to go up and down the field. If we get to 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, 4th and 2, 4th and 3, we go get a first down. And that's hard to defend as a defense.
Yeah. I mean, you're playing with the math. You're manipulating the math and the sticks every single time to your advantage. That's great.
And I mean, Bucky made a good point on Friday about the offensive line too. Washington, they didn't really hold up. That defensive line, Philly was getting after him, and
it's the best defense in the NFL.
Daniels had to really run. And I thought Philly did a great job against Washington D line, especially with Payne not being there. They really took advantage of him, and a couple times Hurst had all day back there. He was going around looking, and then some of those passes Brown was coming.
Made him feel real comfortable coming off the knee. That hey, how'd it feel? Oh, well, since I don't feel no pressure, I feel really good.
I feel real good if I ain't getting hit. Yeah.
That's how it went.
So as a pro, when Washington comes out and goes for it on 4th down twice in the first drive, right? Is that planned out? Do you know that's going to happen? Or
You mean from Washington's perspective?
yeah, from Washington's perspective,
Yeah.
or are you on the sidelines thinking,
What's going
oh
on?
shit,
No.
we gotta go for it on every 4th down?
Did
now?
Jim
No,
cut
no.
his hair? Like,
They probably
Jim Spencer. Buddy
investigative
Spencer.
reporting. I don't know what Coach
As an offensive coordinator, you're going in that whole week. We're going to be aggressive, guys. Look, when we get 4th down, if it's this situation, this part of the field, we're going for it. So everybody already knows. So if we don't make it, we're not panic mode saying, Coach is really trying, he's pressing right now. No, we ain't pressing. We know we're going to be aggressive.
Yeah, by the time they get to a certain part of the field, they're probably already discussing that. Hey, we got 4 downs now.
You got 4 downs right here.
So third down, you don't have to be.
You don't got to go for the 8. You go for 4.
Yeah, exactly.
And bring it to a 4th and 4.
We're gonna give you another chance. Head coaches are usually, we might not know, but the head coach and the quarterback,
coach and the
quarterback might know because they might
I
be
was
saying
joking,
that.
but seriously, that's a great question, especially with a younger team versus the Eagles in terms of experience and how we gonna deal with the mental makeup in adversity or failure, right? Like I got to put safeguards out there for these boys because they may turn into panic mode. We went for something, didn't get it, and all of a sudden then they jump up on us. Coach, what are we supposed to do? Oh, this is according to plan. Like we all good. We still stay in the course, When you're way out there in the ocean, you don't see any landmass. Where are we going? It's like, Coach, no, we got it. I just see it like, it's funny because Jason Kelce came out last week and said, hey, y'all, every single position, Philadelphia is better. Every single position than the Washington Commanders. And everyone pushed back and said, nah, Jaden Daniels got Jalen Hurts. In this game, obviously, Jaden Hurts. Jaden
Daniels.
Jalen Hurts and Jaden Daniels.
I'm sorry, bro.
What happened?
You're a legend, brother.
Senior moment.
Senior moment. My son says, Daddy, you're 50. And that's what he said in those moments. Talk
like
50
you
moment.
50.
Don't remind me.
But even when him saying that and looking at the score, and I know I shouldn't be here, but you are pumped with a 200-yard performance, but it was clean by your boy Jalen.
Pumped. My bad.
I would take that over a sloppy 400 any day.
He threw that in so
Yeah,
quick.
400 yards, 450 passing
You
like
might see a clean 400 next
Week. And then lose the game.
And I don't want to get in front of myself.
I mean, that's what he did the last Super Bowl. He had over 300 yards passing and 5 touchdowns, and they still lost. No turnovers. So, I mean, that's just the game. You can't win them all. And it was a close game. They lost by a field goal in the last, 8-9 seconds?
Yeah.
So,
I think that Jaden played great. I think his team let him down, right? I think when he was out there,
He
you're
did
like,
great. He did a great
give
job.
him a couple more players, they're going to be okay. In the coach.
Oh, yeah.
And you got
If
better offensive
anything,
line, too.
Yeah, offensive line. But if anything, the D coordinator manning up Brown with the rookie, I think hurt the defense. Because Redskins D line was balling. They was doing okay. They had some some breakdowns here and there. But when you got AJ Brown out there on a rookie, like it's going to be a mismatch.
Yeah.
I feel like the Eagles saw something on tape lately that they were going after that ball. They were punching that ball out. And if you look at
Well, that's the
Washington,
coordinator.
they
That's what
didn't.
he did.
But they didn't give up the ball all year, and that was their Achilles heel in this game. Giving up the
AJ
ball.
Brown was money.
Yeah, I mean, that relationship,
money.
as turbulent as it's been, came true when they needed it
Speaking
most.
of A.J. Brown and money, that book he was reading on the sideline is now Amazon's #1 bestseller.
I told you.
Is it really?
Which is crazy.
What was it, Never Shut Up? Was
Absolutely
it Never
crazy.
Shut Up?
Hey,
Never
you,
shut up,
you
right?
need to send him a copy.
Dog.
After the Super Bowl. I don't want him reading that on the Super Bowl because he might be talking too much.
Hell yeah. AJ Brown. AJ Brown. All right.
Oh, but he got paid. Shout out to the office.
right now.
Let's go get it.
Tell him we'll put his fat head up.
We're going to do it. All right.
We need some Eagles fan heads, though. That's what we need.
Hold on.
Pause once again. We got to talk to some other NARPs. We got this game that we just got. You guys want some of this game? Go around that way. And we got another game to chop it up. So I know Eagles fan, you can get out of here because we know you don't give a damn about KC /
Bird doo-doo.
He don't care about KC.
Doing the double
Buffalo.
switch? Double switch?
Yeah, let's double switch it up.
Bird
you
doo-doo.
want some of this? Yeah.
Some of this smoke?
Okay.
You want some of me, Smokey? No.
I was at Dave & Buster's yesterday, dog. And I walked in like Dave, walked out like a Buster. Because I was like, damn, what happened? I'm not going to lie to anybody, including my Bills Mafia. I said, we're going to get into a close game with the Chiefs, and they're going to figure it out and find a way to beat us. And somehow, some way, maybe they had a little help. We're going to talk about it. It did not go off script. It went exactly as I expected it, and that hurts.
When was the first time you knew it was scripted? What play in the first
What
play in the first quarter that okay, it's scripted? What
you know
play?
what? When they were going back and forth, I got 3-point lead. You got 5-point lead.
Yeah.
2 point. I was like,
It's
we just going right down to that funnel where it's
yes,
going to be
just
that
get us
game.
to the fourth quarter with 3 minutes left, so the whole world's watching.
Yeah, we're going to get to that last possession. Everybody going to be hanging on by their breath, holding their breath, and then you're going to like, again? And it happened. So, look, if you want to talk about the game, I thought that Buffalo played a very good game. Josh Allen came out a little too hot, a little erratic, and then quickly got himself in stride. And just the Chiefs don't mess up. Andy Reid gets his talent in space with the ball better than anybody I've ever seen coordinate a game. He gets it there, whether it's the receiver quick pass, whether it's the outlet flare, whether it's just the handoff with the misdirection. He just knows that I'm going to take advantage of you in space. What did you guys see?
I call that film study. That's all it is, right? You know what defensive packages they're going to have when you have your offensive package on the field. So, for example, we'll go to the very last play that got them the first down. They knew, right, when the running back for the Chiefs that caught the last pass.
Pacheco.
No, it wasn't Pacheco.
Oh, the one before that. No, the last one was.
P. Ryan. So P. Ryan had not played all day. When P. Ryan, so they got, 18 games of watching film of the Chiefs. When P. Ryan is in, they go 6-man pass pro. So now P. Ryan comes in the game. So what is Buffalo thinking? 6-man pass pro. So they're going to be in 0 or 1 because I know I got an extra guy blitzing. So I'm going to put P. Ryan in the flat, get a rub route because we know it's man, and he ain't played all day. They know it's going to be a cover 0, cover 1, and that's being ahead of the game, the head of the coach. Like nobody else like, well, it's just P. Ryan, like it was a rub route. Like, no, the call was between two coordinators making the call saying, I know what they're going to be in when the game comes down to it because they're going to think that they're going to go max protection and Mahomes go throw the ball. But they didn't. They put him out in the route. That's why he was so wide open.
The deepest thing about what Hatch just said, and this is why I laugh at sometimes fans, some NARPs, when they be like, you meatheads, or just run the ball, or just, I'm like, they don't understand the human chess of this. Like, there are matrices, there are calculations being done, the huge amount of calculus we have on every play. If we do this, they're going to do that in disguise, but they're really trying to manipulate us to do this in actual plan. And then we're going to have to still react to that, all while running top speed, knowing I got to go that way, and you're trying to force me this way. It happens every single play. And if your coach is not putting you in that position, you're going to be in a bad predicament every play. How many times my coach would call me, hey, we're going to stunt right. I'm like, yeah, coach, problem is they ran right.
There you
so
go.
I'm going this way, he going that way.
Go.
Immediately, all these skills and gifts off the table.
Gone.
They gone. It's just now, he gone, I'm gone, and everybody clowning me. Well, you have contained. I'm like, coach told me to go this way.
And it's how many times, though, who's going to win the chess match the most. And because you got to see, Buffalo was going back and forth, but Andy does it so much and so many times over and over again. It's like you hate to see it because I hate to see it, but man, the way that game was, it was just magical. It was just
I'll put it to you like this, NARPS. You guys can answer this question, right? They played 18 games, right? Yes, it was 19th game. So out of 18 games they played, how many games you guys think that the Chiefs watched of the Buffalo Bills this year out of those 18 games of film?
I'd say maybe one game.
Out of the 18,
You don't want to win.
I mean, that they watched of Buffalo.
That they watched on Buffalo.
They don't need much.
You talking
man.
about players
team
or
knows how to
coaches?
win.
Mark
The
ran
coach,
track,
the
man.
coach.
Come on, man. He ran track.
So the
I gotta watch
reality
Usain
of
Bolt.
it is they watch every play of every game. That's how you know when it comes down to it. You know exactly what they're going to do. But it comes down to, did you guess right? With everybody going this way or not? Like, you don't know, but you still just got to call the play.
You know what's so good about film prep? I remember, I think it was Marv Levy who said it. He was like, film prep allows you to anticipate, but not guess. And there's a huge difference between, oh, I think they're going over here. But you know, through film study, we can see tendencies. Okay, they're in a far formation on the 30 or going in. Guess what? 100% of the time it's a flare route. And you're like, 100%? So now you're anticipating it. You ain't gonna guess, but you're like, if I swear if that boy step his foot out, I'm on that route.
But then you got to
And
look
he
at
do it.
You look at what he's saying. 100%. Then got us as an offense like, okay, we've been running this and running this. Okay, now, bow,
Play
we're gonna hit
action.
it. We're gonna hit it with that fake.
Yeah.
And then boom, and then they're like, what coach say? Oh, 100%. And they over there, then we going the other way.
And-
Bow, because we know it, and we know as offense. Oh yeah, we running this way the same way we running this
And-
way.
and
You
just
know,
not
but that's just how it is. It's a big chess game. Like, go ahead.
And just not to get, I'm trying not to get too deep, but in the reality of sport, especially of this sport, what you just said, we know, right? We anticipate. And then your physical gifts of being big, strong, and fast, that's the only time it comes into play, is when we're reacting to something that did not happen, that we thought was going to happen. Everything else is we're all equal. We're all just as fast as each other, right? We're all just as big as each other. But when that one play happens, where the defensive end got to react to the bootleg, that's when you see a real 6'6" drop his weight, or 6'4" like you, drop his weight and chase the quarterback and cut him off at a good angle.
And
I mean,
go ahead.
no. I was gonna say, I mean, if you're watching that game, it was pretty clear as day that Andy was just out coaching. But yeah, I mean, he was doing what he does. But even with all of that, they still had opportunities to take that game. It's just certain things didn't go in their favor, and there were certain calls.
Oh, we ain't got to say certain. Let's
Yeah,
get,
I mean,
let's
it's
get to 'em.
What call are you talking about?
Yeah,
Where you want to
at?
start? I mean,
what call
for
you talking
for sure, Josh Allen had that first down.
Definitely had that first down.
Okay,
And the first ref called it.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
like,
saw when he started running
he
out,
signaled
and he
him.
see his guy,
church
he
on
started
y'all.
edging to line up with his
going to
guy, because
church on y'all.
at first he was across the line. But then when he
Yeah.
sees his guy coming from the other side, you could tell he starts running over to ease up the lineup with him. I'm like,
But he
come
clearly
on.
had it.
He clearly
this
has.
is
He
why-
clearly
This
has.
is what makes Andy Reid one of the best coaches ever, right? The Andy Reids, Bill Belichick, and I have to put my old coach Denny Green in there because he told us the same thing. What happens when there's a 4th and 1 as a receiver, right? When you stand up, when the ball is snapped, you're not supposed to move. If you move, you get in the way of the ref's line, his eye line. So we tell our receivers, you don't move. We tell our defensive guys when it's 4th and 1, when the ref starts to come on the field, you get in front of him and get in his way. So that's what you guys are seeing. You're seeing Andy Reid coaching his dudes to make, maybe a little, just get in the ref's way right quick. And then you're human. You got to do this, and you got to go around and get back on your line. And it favored them in this moment, but that's a culture
That's
moment.
that's
I
a
know
different
y'all
level of
think.
strategy I didn't even think
Y'all
about.
getting
That's
first
deep.
downs, too.
That was
But
deep.
it was still Andy
On the
Reid coaching
replay,
his
if you
guys.
pause the thing,
I said that too. I feel you.
but when you get back to that, Andy Reid coaching his guy, the way Kansas City plays, it's like they've been there before, which they have.
Which they have.
It's like they've seen it before. Like we were getting at the other day, it's no panic.
No.
I mean, it's hard to have that many guys just playing that
Confident.
calm, cool,
Yeah.
collective, and confident. Hey, game's close. I know we still got this. I know what we do is going to be better than them no matter what. And, you know, as much as I don't want to say, like, I think they're going to do it again now.
Yeah, I mean, look, when you have a 12th man, and that could be the confidence of the collective. It could be the fan support at times, 12th man, Seattle, Kansas City, Arrowhead. It could be Andy Reid is going to throw us a life raft, and we're going to get out of here. And I think that's what happens. Like any moments where you're super confident, even in a headwind, adversity, some element jumps in to say, you got this, whether it's internal or external. And when you talk about the Chiefs, they just know that Andy Reid ain't gonna put them out there in those bad predicaments. So I don't even want to gloss over what you just said, because literally it happened. He's coming in like, I got this. And then he coming in like, I got this. And then in that moment, I know NFL Twitter went crazy. Like,
Yes.
see what we're talking about right here.
Scripted.
It's scripted. But that's the manipulation that occurs to our perception, which was that reality.
Right. It's like a couple weeks ago, everybody was like, I don't want to see the Chiefs again. As long as they don't get to the Super Bowl, they're here now. It's going to be hard to beat that team.
They're going to win it. I'm mad to say it.
First of all, that point's on the board already for the Chiefs. If you thinking that, you thinking that, and on the real team, somebody thinking that. Somebody on the Eagles is like, hey, bro.
They got Patrick Mahomes.
It's been fun. It's been good. Right?
I've been honest, man. Like, I hate to see it, and y'all been seeing the way I'm talking about them, but I got to give respect to where respect is due. Like, they are a special
They're a special team.
But let's not get ahead, because we're going to do previews. I want to do reviews of why is this at home? Why we in Orchard Park again?
You want to know why?
And I'll tell you what, look, were you a big brother or younger brother?
I was a baby brother to two sisters. So
Okay.
Whole different dynamic.
So let's just say when you were 25 and you played again, you went and go play basketball in your backyard versus a 15-year-old. You can just do this anytime you want and mess around until you have to what? Win the game. It's the confidence of the Chiefs. They can play around for 3.5 quarters. They know when there's 2 minutes left, we got Superman 1-5 back there, and we gonna be all right.
And they got this. They got the same colors you got on. They got the black and whites on their side too, so they know they got that. And they back. And they back.
You really, like for real, me and you talking, big dog, right here. The camera's off. You really think the referees got something to do with this?
I don't really think it got something to do with it, but as many times as I played Kansas City when I played for the Raiders, I done seen some shit happen. I done seen some shit go. But me playing football for so long, I know how much fucking blood, sweat, and tears I put into it.
That's the hit.
No, I'm serious. No, I'm just saying, I don't think.
They took my man.
No, I don't think. No, being a part of it for so long, I don't think it's rigged or anything like that. Like,
because I remember when Kansas City was
you
really
feel what I'm
good
saying?
and not good.
But I
and
just
now
seen,
they're great.
but I just seen, and one thing I do know, and I do think goes into being a successful team in football, even the years when I was successful playing, you got to have some luck on your side.
Yeah.
But it seems
Football
like
gods is
you
real.
got to, you got
Football
to.
gods is real.
And in 2016 when we went 12-4 with the Raiders, we won a lot of close games. We had luck on our side. But it seems like these Chiefs just always got. It's like the football guys is just over them. They love Arrowhead.
Yeah.
It's just,
So Kansas City was balling. Clearly, they was doing what they do. But where's a little weird for me is as much as they were playing great, there's moments where I feel like the Bills coach was kind of overthinking. And so like Cook, every time they gave the ball to Cook, he was cooking. He was picking up yards. But then when they got into those moments where it was those fourth downs and they were trying to push and they needed a yard or inches, why is he not in the game? Every, and you can answer that better because you guys is there. But every time
it goes
he was
back to what we're just talking about. And do you think Andy Reid gets nervous in that moment? The offensive coordinator for the Bills probably gets a little bit nervous in that moment. He might call the not perfect play. Andy Reid's just calling the perfect play because he's been there so many times. You see what I'm saying? So it comes back to, you're right, it's not the perfect play, but it's a human aspect of we thought that they was go there.
That's what I'm saying. He's overthinking.
But they was wrong.
Yeah, overthinking gives it a connotation that may not be fair. Right. Like you're a coordinator. I'm not a coach for real. I coach 9-year-olds, right? I just run that way, damn it. So you know what I mean? So, but I am the coach, D coordinator, O coordinator. Let me tell you. So there are times when we need to get a first down or a couple yards, and I look at my son, I'm like, yeah, he's our best runner. I'm gonna give him the ball. And then I literally say, but if I'm playing defense, they know he's getting the ball, so I shouldn't give him the ball. But then I'm like, all right, so I'm gonna give it to the second best runner. But my confidence is a little lower, and then that kid sometimes makes the play more times than not. Something goes wrong because we keep going down the chart. My point is, to a layman, to anybody watching, it either works or it doesn't work. right? They don't know. I just went through 19 different scenarios in my
Right,
head.
right.
And I'm
In
like,
10 seconds.
I was just
and
about
all
to
I
say that.
want is it to work.
Yep.
And then when it does, I look like a genius.
Right.
But when it doesn't,
yeah,
I'm thinking it.
You overthinking it.
But the old adage is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So
But
you got a guy who's been
no,
cooking.
because if you give it to Cook the 9th time and he gets stopped on the 9th time, you guys say the exact same thing.
But which
That's
one?
unfair.
But which one do you take your chances with? The guy who's consistently
It's not-
cooking,
no.
or the guy
Well,
that?
No,
but he
you know
went
what?
with
And I'm
Josh
asking a
Allen.
question. This
He
is a
went with
question.
Josh
No,
Allen.
your question,
He went
this
with
is
Josh
what
Allen
happens.
those times.
It's a false equivalence because Cook is cooking on 1st and 10, 2nd and 4.
When the
it's
defense
fourth,
is a
That's what I'm
different
asking.
defense.
yeah, so it's 4th and 1. One, all right, Josh Allen is bigger than Cook, and he right there. We need to give it to him. But 2, in case of failure, the headline looks better that Josh Allen tried. Then I gave it to Cook, and then he got stopped behind the line of scrimmage.
And they was giving it to him the whole drive, and they shouldn't have given it to him because everybody knew he was getting the ball. Like, it's the same thing.
It's a great question because that manipulates yourself if you're not confident. You outthink it, as you said, overthink it. But in reality, you're like, I'm going with the safest bet. And it didn't work.
The highest percentage win.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's what the coordinator
And as an athlete, you got to outthink. I mean, you don't understand. I'm sitting there, it's 3rd and long. All right, is he going to go inside? Is he going to bull rush me? Is he going to do this? It's a whole bunch of thinking that goes into it. It's crazy, though. But if you're a Buffalo Bills fan, it's just crazy how.
Take the F out of it. I'm right here.
All right, you're a Buffalo Bills fan. You're a Buffalo Bills fan.
when you're a Buffalo
When you're a Buffalo Bills fan, this is just a hard loss because you guys didn't do anything
Another one.
to lose the game. No turnovers.
Right, yeah.
Josh Allen went out there, no turnovers. I thought he played a magnificent game. The receiver, I can't get his name right now.
Kincaid should have caught that pass though.
Oh, yeah.
Can you
Tyson
catch
Steele
that
cut that pass.
He should have caught that pass.
Again, great athlete, great
It was-
ball
it hit
catcher.
his
He took his
hands.
eyes off of him. He took his
It was
eyes
right
off of
there.
him.
And you can
did
see the whole sideline
how-
where he missed that ball.
But
They
did you see
all
how
went
Josh
crazy.
got that ball, even got that ball away?
Yeah.
It was
Great
crazy.
play.
It was
Great
crazy.
Let's go through that
Give him a
play.
But did you
chance.
see the sideline when he dropped that pass?
Okay, that play in real time, this is what happened. Sid Hunt. Okay. All right, so what's the D coordinator name? Always blitzing. Spags gonna blitz.
You
You
know,
know
in
it.
that situation, you
Can
know
I say one?
Spags
While we
is
talk about Spags, one thing.
Yeah.
And I just want to know if I'm right. That's next New Orleans head coach.
head coach.
I think he'll go.
That's why it's just so quiet.
Really?
They're just waiting on him to finish. I just want to think. I just want to put
That
that out
would be a
there.
great-
They're
He
just
faked
so
the-
quiet.
he faked the
He
blitz,
deserves
though.
it. He needs to be head coach somewhere. And they're just so
agree.
quiet. And you haven't heard anything. All the interviews are done. I just feel like they're just.
Interesting.
I wouldn't mind that at the same
I just want to
time.
do because you
Ain't
brought
nothing
him
wrong
up.
with
I just want to throw
hitching
that
your
in
wagon
there.
to Andy Reid and getting paid because
Yeah.
Eric Bieniemy and others have found out like,
Yeah.
leaving Andy Reid, oh, it ain't sweet out there like you think. But all right, so that play, and I'm like, okay, and receiver, itty bitty kid.
Secure.
Yes, Shakir.
Right, on the
Little
orbit.
flare right here. Now, Josh can't see it because one, they're blitzing, two, they're doing a zone man blitz, so now it's disguised properly.
he
So
hit the
then, like, the
blitz.
corner and the edge is coming, and he's like, oh, I ain't see that coming. So he bones out right. Now, when you bone out right, you ain't seeing left. It's wide open. Guess who was guarding him? The linebacker or DN in drop coverage. Me was going to guard a receiver with 15 yards of green grass. All Josh had to do literally was say, like, oh, and this. And I swear, he would have caught that, and he's probably still running right now. To the sideline. But that didn't happen. Still threw a 40-yard man.
Off his back foot with a guy hitting him. Absolutely.
Right,
And
and
dropped
the guy
right in his
in front of him
hands.
and behind him.
Dropped right in his
Rob,
hands.
I don't tell me somebody for real because I don't believe in voodoo, jinxes. You turn the lights off after watching a scary movie. Ain't nobody in here. I'm not
Candyman?
that guy.
Candyman? You don't believe in Candyman?
Candyman.
No, oh Lord Jesus, help me.
Kincaid having nightmares right now.
Right.
I ain't
Go to
going
New Orleans,
I'm
yeah,
not
girl,
going
I'm
to
eating
no.
your mama
I'm not
spaghetti.
going to no hunting houses with you.
I ain't scared of none of that stuff. I'm scared of other things, but I ain't scared of none of that. But Ben, people are like, you a Charger fan, dog? You a Bills fan, dog? You a Jags fan, dog? You a Cowboys fan, dog? All y'all jinxed. And I'm like, what does jinx really mean? Not just the word, and I'm supposed to be like, we lost again.
I have
Is there
heard that.
something to this? Can we lose the same way every time?
Might be you.
In sports,
Might be you.
is there something to
The
this?
Raiders jinx too.
Yes, right, in sports. Because there's always the element of you just don't know what's going to happen, right? This is the same thing about our 98 Vikings, right?
Yeah.
We're jinxed because what happened in the 09 Vikings. All the ways you lose is like weird that shouldn't happen, right?
Yeah,
But if you look at the 100 years of sports, it's always going to be that way for the losing team.
Yeah, you map it on to whatever story you want
Right,
to tell,
right.
which is the same story for my Buffalo Bills losing to Kansas City Chiefs. Andy Reid, great coach. All right, let's transition on that to our second topic about great coaches, because Andy Reid's out there dealing, right? And on the heels of him dealing, I want to talk about great coaches, and I also want to talk about bad coaches. Like, there's obviously a big line of distinction between, and names and numbers. My coach always said, you're going to say something bad about me, just say my name and say my number. But whatever it is, Andy Reid is Andy Reid. And there's an anti-Andy Reid, antithesis of Andy Reid there as well. But first, let's talk about the qualities of a great coach and give Andy Reid and others their flowers.
Oh man, there's a lot of great coaches. Unfortunately,
A lot? You sure?
there's a lot
Okay.
of great
I didn't
coaches.
expect to hear that.
Unfortunately, they don't have the tools, personnel, ownership, money to spend, general managers not
opportunities.
bringing them the right players to fit their system. But there's a lot of great coaches out there. Now, at the same time, I also think that there's some bad coaches out there that probably ruin, especially you fans, your first rounders that get in. You guys think they're going to be all pros, and their first rounders you never hear from again. That's got a lot to do with coaching at times.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to say that. Well, he just fell off. He could play when he was 22, and now he's 23, and he can't play anymore.
Yeah, facts.
There's just some coaches out there that want to do it their way, and they, kind of get in the way sometimes. But Andy Reid's definitely going to be up there with the Bill Belichick's of the world. And again, as far as overall coaching ever, again, you have the Bill Walsh's. I think he's definitely in that category as well.
What you see?
No, I think Andy
Great
Reid.
coach.
Oh, what I see from a great coach, a great coach that can get the best out of players and find what they're good at.
And
'Cause
use
some
that,
players
yes.
ain't good at
Everything.
everything. They got to find little certain things. Like, one thing when I got to Bill Callahan, my 14th year in the league, I was a vertical setter.
Say it again?
I was a vertical setter.
Tell them what that is.
Vertical setter is when you try to set straight back, straight line as much as possible, because these DNs now they're inside out, so you want to stay inside out. One thing I had good feet, so I knew I could go in there. He was a 45-degree setter, but Bill Callahan was like, "Hey, you've been doing this for so long.
Yeah.
I'm not going to
Keep
change
doing
you."
that.
Right.
He said, "But I'm gonna give you some more tools to put in your toolbox." He was like, "I want you to practice this." So I during practice, he'll yell out, 845, one-on-ones, yell out, try it. A couple times in the game, I'll try it, but he ain't trying to change me then. Then you got other coaches that will come in and be like, "No, you're gonna do it my way, or you're just
That's
gonna
not
be
the
out
right
of
way.
here."
Okay.
And at that point, if he would have tried to change me, I don't think I would have been as successful as I was in year 14, because I was so my tendencies were so.
Yeah. You're
So-
setting your
So
ways.
I don't want to throw y'all into like saying the name of a bad coach. That's why I do another show by myself. 'Cause I don't say his name.
Oh, I can't
but I
do
mean,
that
I'm
too.
like, for perspective, it helps me to know who is not good, so I can be like, oh, I can see the contrast between Andy Reid and X. Like, what is, or just describe it. What is that guy doing that keeps him from being in the great conversation as a coach?
I feel like coaches that don't listen to their players
Yes.
and don't take into consideration. You don't have to change everything or do everything they're saying, but you got to try to take into consideration, or maybe switch up something, or try to at least make them feel like you're listening
Take some of
to
the
them.
ingredients from the player as
And
well
use
as
it.
your
Yes,
ingredients
yes.
and cook it up.
You feel,
I think the
you said that
biggest.
real good.
And kind of on that note too, that's one thing that Kansas City does really well. Like, they let them play around and let them put in different plays and different packages that they like to work on and stay at the practice and work on with Patrick and Travis. So like, to that point, like, that's part of that reason why their culture is so strong, is because they're open and they're open to suggestions and apply some of those. And actually, you play those plays in the game.
Yeah.
But
Well,
shit,
again,
another thing we can't see too, you might get an endorsement deal too.
oh, of course.
Nah, man.
So, you all right?
You see all the commercials.
So
they got everybody on there.
I think
They got everybody
so.
on
If you guys go to a scouting / coaches round table in training camp, right? They all come in. They're going to evaluate the 90 guys who are on the roster, right? 90% of the time, everybody at that round table is like, too slow, can't do this, bad feet, can't whatever, can't. That's all you hear. Belichick was one of the first ones to say, I know what he can't do, but what can he do? Until those coaches start taking that in consideration, you're not even coaching yet. because you're getting the evaluation of the athlete wrong, because you're like, he can't. It don't matter. That's why you see so many people that were successful in Belichick's system, from Wes Walker, who got cut from one team, comes over here as a gosh dang Pro Bowler, right? That's a big difference.
I mean, speaking of great coaches, Mike Tomlin always has this saying that he always says, like, coaches, they want to deny or refuse the responsibility of coaching. They don't want to develop. They don't want to put in the work. Oh, this guy can't do his job. Man, no, maybe it's you. Maybe you're not a good coach. Maybe you're not doing a great job pulling the best out of him. Because he was that guy in college, and now he's here in your meeting room. And now he can't learn.
Yeah, it's like Tetris. It's almost like human Tetris. Like, these are the pieces. Please don't tell me they can't fit. Just tell me you ain't the one to make them fit, right?
If they can fit, they can fit for everybody else.
Yeah, they can fit, because you see, like you said, Wes Welker goes to San Diego. People don't even know that. Starting at the Chargers. Then he goes to Miami, and you start seeing some flashes of it. Gets to New England, you're like, yo, he should be in the Hall of Fame. Like, what's going on right here? Same dude. And look, I'm going to talk about a coach that is one of the greatest ever. But this was a moment that made me say, this is why other coaches aren't bad. Bill Parcells is one of the best coaches ever, right? But he literally can watch 2 plays of a football game and break down every single player, and he dead right. Like, all of that. Like, he saw 2 plays. You're like, damn, coach, you know you can do all that? He told us we had to wear knee braces. You know, I'm raising my hand like, coach, I used to play running back. I'm kind of fast still a little bit. But I was going down the hill, but I was like, coach, I don't want to wear a knee brace. Well, yeah, I don't want you hurt either. And I was like, well, let me get hurt first, because I don't want to wear a knee brace. I am
horrible answer.
Yeah, I'm like 29 years old. Yeah. I done had some good years, coach. Can I not wear this robotic, RoboCop? He's like, you gonna wear it on my team? I'm like, all right. Then it's like, coach, I want to play on that side. Well, we got somebody over there who can't play on this side, and you can play both. This is what happens to a lot of parents out there. When your son or daughter's growing up in the wrong position, part of it is because the other kids can't do nothing else. He got to play point guard, so your son got to play center. My son ain't that big. He can't play point guard because that kid can't play center. And it happens. So I'm now with a robotic leg out there on the other side, not the wrong side, the other side, not my preferred world. And then I just start sucking. And then once you do bad at something that you're not good at and your ego jumps in, then I'm just going down the hill. And that's a great coach. Yep. But at that moment, he had leverage / he was like, dog, you going to do it my way or the highway. I had a Marty Schottenheimer who was like, you going to line up in front of this tight end? I was like, coach, I'm outside the tight end. I'm Dwight Freeney's son. Like, let me live. Like, no, you're not. You're going to be right in front of him. And that wasn't good for me. So it's funny, most of the bad coaches don't have a name that I could say that you would know. Because he's sorry. He was a badass coach. But that's what I went through.
The best part of what you're saying is, because there's 2 parts of coaching. There's one, the first one is position specific evaluation. You got to get a position right first. Then it's the X's and O's of the position, right? I think what made me, to me, Denny Green the best coach ever was his fairness, right? So again, if you play...
Okay, respect, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, Denny, yeah, absolutely.
Can we not, really? Is Denny Green the best coach?
Yes, and I'm going to tell you why.
Please say it.
Don't forget, he never had a losing season. Huh? He never had a losing season in the NFL. That's kind of a big deal.
Did he ever win a championship?
That don't mean nothing.
I'm just asking the other side. I mean, no.
We're not having that conversation.
I don't have that conversation. When you tell me he never lost, I said, did he ever win?
He won regular season, and I'll break it down.
I'm not trying to do that to Denny Green, but I'm like,
because of the coaches that I have been under, he was the only one, right? If you play 20 plays and you grade out at a 90, next week you get 22 plays or 24. Okay. If you grade out as a 65, you get 16 plays.
We're dropping this.
If you play good, you get rewarded with more play. He's the only NFL coach I've ever had to do that. Everybody else is all, well, he got drafted here, so we got to start him one more game. And his contract is 99% of them coaches in the NFL are about that BS.
Yeah, that fake depth chart. Like, I got drafted 2nd round or 1st round, and you got me 4th on the depth chart. I could go backwards all camp, and somehow I'm starting.
And I was on the other side of that, so I didn't like people like you. I'm like, nigga, why he starting?
Hey, quick real story, though, for real. Pat Williams, if you guys know, interior played in Minnesota.
Yeah, Big Pat.
Big Pat was a beast.
Minnesota.
Undrafted A&M. He my roommate. Boy, he would blow that room up. I'm like, dog, you shit. What's wrong with you? Deaf.
He had like, come on, bro. He had the fastest get off.
Yo, he could get off in strong hands. Big old belly. I love Pat. He undrafted. I'm a second rounder. We go to camp. I'm Columbia. He Texas A&M. He destroying it. And every time he make a mistake, because we all do, Pat, what you doing?
Yep.
What you doing?
Yep.
If you do that one more time, boy, you out of here.
Yep.
Okay, coach.
Yeah,
and then
that's
like,
how
we'll
I
go
was.
back
You
into
make a
the
mistake.
room
That's how I
and
was.
talk about it. I make a mistake. They be like, Wiley, hey, man, hey, it's a marathon. You're going to get right? You know, make
Yes.
sure you stay into this. It's coming. It's coming. I'm like,
that's how free agents
That's the
went to that shit.
definition of not fair.
and
That's what
he
these free agents
almost
went
didn't
to.
make the team. And he turns out to be Pat Williams, one of the
all
great
pro.
players.
That's
Yep.
shit. I went through that shit, free agency, man. I mean, undrafted free agent. My first year, I'm in Minnesota with Pat.
Okay, yeah.
I had a good little OTAs and mini camp. So we go into training camp. They got Ryan Cook. They drafted him as a center. Ryan Cook's getting killed at center. So they try to move him to he's second round pick. So they Cook getting cooked at center.
Filleted.
Hey, Pat Williams and Kevin Williams murdering him.
Oh,
Minnesota.
K-Dub? Oh, it's
yeah,
too much.
yeah, the murder.
Oh, they
so
too much.
So I'm starting to get me a couple of reps with the third and second team sometime when they resting guys.
Yeah.
So Cook starts getting killed. They move Cook to right tackle. Cook started doing all right at right tackle. Man, I'm undrafted free agent.
Yeah.
Man, I see my reps go from 6'8" to not mention at all. Like, you know, but that's what they did, and ended up. Thank God I ended up going to Tampa and everything. But I wanted to get on John Gruden. John Gruden's the coach that I got the
Great coach.
great coach. I love
Great
John
coach.
Gruden.
Oh, I hear
It's
a
a crazy
but.
story.
I hear a but.
No.
not
I
yet.
love John Gruden. I mean, it's a crazy story because John Gruden brought me in the league when Tampa gave me my first start, but he cut me too in Oakland, full circle. But one thing I used to love about John Gruden, he made you want to go out there and play for him. You knew when you went out there that him and his staff put in the work.
Yeah.
You knew you were going to be ready. You knew he would show you stuff that he was going to put in and show you that it was working.
Come here,
so you
Penn.
had confidence.
Come here, Penn.
Yeah. I love. But he would sit there in offensive meetings and run a play and tell everybody from every single position what they had, and then tell every defensive guy what they had on that
where
thing,
he's
and
supposed to be at.
he'll just sit there and be like he knew both. It was just amazing. It's like, why would you not want to go through a wall for somebody like that had so many plays, and he didn't care about draft picks. Like, we lost our right tackle, our left tackle, fourth week of the season, my second year. I'm undrafted free agent. I'm a swing
We heard
guy.
that the seventh time you said that.
Sorry.
You got the free agent. Goddamn.
Sorry.
What you want? We know how great you were.
But no,
we know you gonna tell
Hey,
you
I got it out the mud. I got it out the mud.
My bad.
You ain't in the hood no more. Damn.
They go along with it.
You had 6,000 square feet, nigga.
But
You
when a dude tore his ACL, he could have went and got a free agent off the street.
But he went and got an undrafted.
But no, he gave me a chance. See, look. See, I was holding that off. But no, he gave me a chance to go out there and do my due, which I'm always gonna be grateful for.
the best joke.
But it's coaches like that see something in guys and know something that I didn't know.
He did his work.
You know,
Like you said,
and-
he did his homework right there.
So
And,
let me ask you a question from a fan for all the pros. What makes a coach lose the locker room? What makes you not want to play
Trust.
for a coach?
I was just about to say.
Trust. He sits
Yeah.
in front of that camera, tells the media one thing, and he comes into the meeting room with the team and tells us something totally different. We lose the trust. It's over. We'll never rock with you. We'll never play hard for you. We'll never run through the wall for you. That's the head coach. Position-specific guys, coordinators and receiver coaches, D-line coaches, whatever, same thing comes back down to trust. You told me we was going to do this week. I was going to get the ball this, or the scheme was this, and you was going to play me this many times. I didn't get that. Now I don't trust you no more. I'm not rocking with you. I'll give an example of a bad coach would be Paul Hackett. Paul Hackett, when I was in New York, all the same, do this. Everything Hatch did was wrong. I run the route, my receivers coach, great job, you sold it, and you went in, and I'm coming back to the huddle, shit, Hatch, that ain't it. I'm like, my man's just gave me, I got the wood.
I felt that love.
So to me, the trust was out the window, you know what I'm saying? And it's trust, again, communication, can throw that in there, but I think that it's trust. You lose that locker room, it's a wrap.
Yeah, it could be a lot of words. Trust is at the top. Because if you don't trust them, then you have to have an alternative plan every single moment you're on that field with him because you don't trust him. You're not just taking it as said, right? He says, he call a play and he be like, I don't know if I should do that because I don't trust him. I don't, you know, and what happens is you create other opponents. Because if I'm not only focused in on you, but now I'm focused in on what I need to do different than what he told me to do, and I don't even trust it's gonna work, everything is out of sorts. So I've been in that predicament before. I'm like, man, I don't think coach knows what he's doing. He got me going this way, they going this way every time. And then he got me out here playing contain, ain't no plays this way. And I'm like, dog, what, like, you setting me up. And then literally, this is what kills you. And it's gonna come out the wrong way, but I'm gonna say it the right way. Mike Vrabel became, first of all, he went to Ohio State, so he was a better DN than me before. Then he became Mike Vrabel at New England. He had his struggles at first. He was a third rounder, and I was a second rounder. And I was like, I'm watching, and I take my time to get good. And then there was a time where I was better. And then he ended up having a better career. And I was like, looking, and this is my jealousy I've never told him, because I ain't seen him in a minute. What's up, Vrabel? We came out the same year. I was like, if I played in New England, that.
And the system and the coaching. And
Yeah, it wasn't because I thought I was better than him. It's just when I got better, I was like, well, how much better could I get if I were in New England? Because I saw how he got developed. And I was like, damn. And then there are countless others. You watch them, they have little name, no name, and then you watch them at New England, and you're like, yo, that sucker blew up. And I used to always say, if I could have been in that situation, what would I have been? So that's, to me, is a bad coach. You didn't get all you could out of all your players.
That's what keep you up at night right there.
Yeah.
That's what you was thinking about. It's like, man, like if you Saquon was like, man, if I would have got to the Eagles earlier, how much better my career would have been.
Saquon, right now.
Yeah, right now.
And he would have stayed in New York.
God, what if they would have paid him? That would have been the worst thing for him.
Nah, we would have known who he was, but not like this.
No, I'm saying not like this.
Yeah, not like this, though, but I feel like that, too, when I was in Tampa. I'm like, man, this market's so small. I'm playing just as good as them. Why am I not making these Pro Bowls? Why am I not getting these All-Pros? I'm like, oh, we don't got that. We got one TV game a year. They on TV every.
It's always
They on
something
TV,
like that.
something like that. Like,
So
I used to feel the same way.
We can switch in some of the guys if you guys got some more on this. Yeah, no.
I think another thing, too.
I mean, I was gonna say something more about Andy Reid, but we about the transition, right?
I think we got some more notes. Let me hear it. What you got?
No, I was just gonna talk about Andy Reid and all the success that he had in Philadelphia, and like he has a I mean, he just has a career.
Don't you get on that website again. We already we got two coaches.
He has a habit of just making great cultures and making people feel heard and like making sure that people feel welcome and welcome their opinions. Like there's great people. You don't have that many. You don't have 55, elite athletes in your locker room, and then you have another like 5 or 6 Pro Bowlers in your locker room. They know something about football as well.
Thank you.
And he's willing to listen to them and trust them, and that does wonders for him in the locker room and in the community as well. Those guys go to the gas station, they go to the grocery store, and they get that love because of a great culture, just like any other business.
I love it.
Any other business.
And you gotta have fun. You gotta be able to have fun at work too. You gotta be able to want to come to work. Like,
And so the craziest thing is when you see like Andy Reid, I mean, that's just like pops, like grandpops. Like he ain't never mad. You know, like a good, a good triple OG, a good granddaddy ain't ever mad at you. He like, look, this is what we gonna do. Like he heard you. He ain't mad. He ain't getting hot with you. He's just like, this is what we gonna do. And take it in. Solution oriented.
That's kind of like me here, right?
The age is the only commonality.
Even the gray, just the gray.
Just the gray.
Welcome, John.
Thank you.
Well, oh, we gotta have a moment. I told you. Moment of silence. New NARP. My man John is in the building. President Trump sent me a letter and said, look, if you don't represent my people on that show. No, seriously.
So John is our DEI.
Oh, he DEI?
We got rid of DEI, so.
That's right.
Joking.
This is gonna be short. Go get it.
All right. Harbaugh. Okay.
Which one?
Jim Harbaugh. Michigan Wolverines go blue. All right.
Well, y'all ain't go this year, but I mean.
Yeah. So Harbaugh, coming from pros, did great in pros, right? San Francisco. Yeah. He goes to Michigan.
Does great.
Right? Well, no.
Does great.
How long did it take him?
Why does it matter?
Because this goes about the players though. He went from the pros, a different generation, right? And now he's in with the younger generation. They feel different. They learn different. They are coached different. He didn't know how to handle that. And I think he lost the locker room.
Let me
What just happened here?
not know how to handle it or took some time to figure out how to handle it.
Well, he took time to figure out how to handle it because he brought in a team who knew and could feel that.
Isn't that to his credit, though?
It is to his credit.
Know what I don't know?
How long did it take him, though?
As long as it's supposed to
right?
take.
Is the summation that Jim Harbaugh failed in Michigan? Are you trying to go there?
Nah,
Didn't y'all win a
I'm
championship?
saying in the beginning he had to figure it out, and he learned what the
Well,
players
Bill
needed.
Belichick in the beginning had to figure it out.
Oh,
In
yeah.
Cleveland, he had some good years, but at the same time, wasn't Bill Belichick. And then you see him in New England, Jimmy Johnson, 1-15. Like
1-15. Everybody's got to take time to figure it out. Player and or.
But sometimes
You're not doing that,
they
though.
don't
Yeah.
give you a chance. Look at Antonio Pierce. You don't get a chance to figure out. Sometimes you want it
and
done.
that's-
You
right.
got to be lucky to even get a chance to.
That just
Even in
because
colleges,
Antonio
too.
Pierce is one and done.
There's
Bill
other people.
Belichick got fired from the Browns. We don't know if AP is going to be get 5 Super Bowls in the next 20 years. We don't know that.
We don't.
Or so when Bill Belichick left the Browns, oh, he can't coach. It's still the same guy.
Yeah. You want some of that? Talk to me so we get off this topic.
Well, and didn't people feel the same about Nick Saban?
Absolutely.
At
Michigan
one point?
State. Yeah.
You know, he had a lot of failures.
Went to the Dolphins.
Until he found his fit.
Look at John right there. That's your boy. Little knock on
Look,
came in here hot.
I'm not even sure what John is talking about. To be perfectly frank
Well,
with you.
Let him go.
I thought it was
frame.
great for the way Harbaugh handled it. And I think he handled it the way his brother handled getting Lamar in Baltimore. You fit what works for you around what you have. You know, John Harbaugh changed the whole Ravens philosophy
Damn Charger coach. What the hell wrong with you,
and
boy?
created a system that Lamar could thrive in. I think his younger brother learned from that and became a coach who made the team around what made the strategy around what he had.
Let me ask you this.
I feel like both of them grew up with a lot of black people around them because they know. No, I'm serious. Because they know how to. They got that vibe. Like they cool. They know how to be around them.
Everybody,
guys.
yeah.
It feels like I didn't mean to cut you off too, but it feels like guys want to come be around them. They enjoy coming to work. They keep it laid back. They keep it fun. Just from some guys that I know that even played for them. And you know, now that Harbaugh's at Chargers, he's bringing some of those guys back on the coaching staff too, taking care of his guys. I love seeing that. It's great. That just tells you how much they care about you, because you can really tell if a coach really actually cares about you or if it's really just about business. And if some of them care about you too, but they know it's business, but they still do care about you, you can tell the difference. That some of them it's just straight business.
Absolutely. So,
You know?
go ahead.
Yeah, and is it coaching if you're driving your system down everybody's throat? Is that coaching?
Pause, first of all.
Hey, we gotta switch north.
Hey, let me
Well, seriously, if you're not,
Here's the answer.
listen,
Here's the answer.
Your
So,
system.
let me- and again, this is more. This is more.
Highlight reel, dog. Every.
This is more for the fan base and for the media.
Definitely get a highlight reel.
Is Bill Belichick one of the top 5 coaches ever in football history?
Yeah.
absolutely.
So when he goes to North Carolina this year, and he doesn't go 12-0 and doesn't go to a national championship, what is everybody going to say in the media and the fan base? He's not a good coach? Give him some time. Why is this? Oh, you got to win when we want you to win.
They gonna
We got to
give him
win when
time.
we get you a quarterback. You got to win when we think that you're supposed to be the #1 seed.
They don't give him
Sports
time.
does not work like that. As a fan base, sit back and say, sometimes we're going to go to the Super Bowl. Sometimes we're going to be in the national championships, and sometimes we ain't. When we are not, we can't say we're not good, we're not ready, the coach stick. Ryan Day is a perfect example. He was out after he lost to Michigan.
Yep.
Everybody wanted him out, and now, and I said,
Yeah, Shannon and Stephen A were like,
But every
I
team,
don't know if
you see what I'm saying?
every
So,
team
I
and
think it's just a time
organization
thing.
does not give these coaches time.
Yeah.
Look at
Of
Detroit.
course.
Thank God they
But that
gave
doesn't
him
mean they're a
time.
bad coach,
But
though.
exactly, but it makes it goes on their resume. It makes them look bad.
I don't think so.
Like when
I think
I
if
was,
you get
when
fired as
Raheem,
head coach,
I feel like Raheem's a great coach. When he was with Tampa, they spent no money.
they didn't have a chance. He
They
didn't have a
fired him.
chance to
They
win.
fired him, brought in Schiano. They spent one of the most money they ever spent the whole off season. The whole off season. If you would have gave him a chance, it might have been totally different. Like,
Yes.
Yeah. All right, so let's transition. Let's transition out there. We need to bring Terry in. You got to get out of here. We talked too long on this coaching stuff. We got to
just
move on.
got here.
Huh?
I just got here.
I know, and you said before, and we were like, yeah, get out of here. 30-minute coaching.
your pause moment.
Yeah, but no, let me bug it up while they transition. Terry, come on in here there. Terry. But the thing is, that's funny about it is, it's like a relationship. You only have like amount of energy and equity for somebody based on what you feel, right? Like some girls, you get into argument all the time and you're still with them. And somebody, as soon as they look at you sideways once, you're like, you know what, this ain't gonna work. And it's like, they wanna know why, because you move the line. And I think that's the same thing with coaching at times. It's like, you can move the line. So we about to move this conversation right to Stephen A. Smith. And I just mentioned him as they were talking about Ryan Day in not so flattering ways after that Michigan loss, and then things turned around. Let's talk through this, because Stephen A. Smith is saying he feels like a fool for voting for Kamala Harris. I said it right? Kamala Harris. Kamala K. Harris. Miss Harris again. Miss Harris. I don't mean any disrespect.
Vice
but
President
I am Marcus
Harris
to most people, and I'm like, whatever. Like, so, just, So, when I hear that, I'm like, I wonder why. Like, that's a strong thing. One thing to say we lost. Another thing to say, oh, okay, I could see why we lost. But now I'm wondering why he said it in a way where he knew that would be a bold headline. I feel like a fool.
What was the quote again? Say the quote. What was the exact words?
He feels like a fool voting for Miss Harris.
But why did he say it though? Like,
that's my question. I know my answer.
But I don't understand. Like, why did he want to bring that to the public and bring it attention? Is I guess my whole thing. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, did he say why? What?
Did y'all do any homework on this? No
homework.
All right.
No homework.
No
homework.
What are you thinking, John? Go take the lead. Look at John feeling bold right now.
Got a Trump question.
All right.
Come on in, Terry.
Hey, you see what you said, Trump? He said he put his hand up.
No.
Me. You know the kid in the back call on me. Yeah, me. Call on me. You got the answer, sir?
Me and John. What you mean? Go get it.
Yeah.
Let's go. Oh yeah, we got 3 here.
One, I want to make sure he said that because I know there was a headline on Fox News. They took it out of context. So Stephen A. Smith said, look, I know everyone does that. You got to have headlines. So one, I want to confirm that quote because he said that it wasn't Kamala, my view, Kamala, he voted for because he went politically correct. His beliefs, and he started thinking around Trump's foundation and what he believed in is really what Stephen A. Smith believed in. But,
all right, let's not dance around this. Are we saying that Stephen A. Smith really agreed with Trump, but just because of the pressures, we know what those pressures are, he just said, I voted for Harris.
Because he didn't like Trump, right? And now it comes down to personalities.
Yeah.
Because he's conservative on a fiscal perspective. He's liberal on everything else. You do what you want. You want to be LGBTQ, fine. If you want to be whatever you want, that's okay. Abortion's that. It's your body. But on the fiscal side, that's where he's conservative. So it's tough. It's like, who do you go for? Are you going to go for Trump that really isn't as respected in what you think, and him coming out as a black man? Who is the public?
About color in this conversation.
Hey.
There's a color element to this. Hey, like first, let's just get that out there. Like, if you black, you vote Democrat or deal with the backlash, the headwind that comes from that, right?
You're gonna deal with it. Yes.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Oh yeah.
First you see, then you hear, and you can feel and think whenever you want. So it's up to you.
It's weird because I tell you what I think when I hear this. I say, one, I don't know who you voted for. So for you to tell me who you voted for, and then to say, okay, that's fine too, but then you tell me you shouldn't have voted for him or you don't feel comfortable, then it makes me question, did you even vote for him in the first place? Like there's this master manipulation going on, I feel, of like, I'm gonna tell you who I voted for, that's what everyone assumed, and that's the way to go with the wind. And then I'm going to say, now I'm regretting that because the winds have changed. And did they ever change? Because like you said, everything I heard from Stephen A. Smith, I'm like, he voting for Trump. He just don't want to say it. And then afterward, I heard the Harris part. And I'm not trying to put his vote in or out of there. I'm just saying, why do people feel such anxiety of telling you, or when you do say it, who gives a damn? Like, you got one vote, I got one vote. Like, we gonna have the same scoreboard no matter what. It's just, okay, mine may add up to where we win. But what does we win mean? I don't get a check if Trump wins. I don't get a check if Harris wins. Right. So I don't see.
Stephen A. might have some endorsements, knowing if he
you and this
he
money.
switch over to this. No, I'm being serious. You know, he switch over to the support Trump. Hey, some of the endorsements, he might see him on a couple more commercials.
I mean, I want to hear Terry.
Hold on, before you go there, because I want to. What you're saying is the Snoop scenario. You're saying Snoop could have voted Democrat, but still went to perform for Trump.
Yeah.
No,
that's the world.
it's a Bitcoin.
That's the world where that's the world we should be living in.
Yeah.
He could have did that, but he went and did that. So what? Let it live.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Right. I say the world of do what you want to do, knowing that people are going to talk about you, but don't try and carve it in any form or fashion like I'm going to actually just conform to you. And in reality, either A, you're going to have an immediate regret, or two, you may not even be telling the truth about it. So that's where I take it. I'm like, we ain't been a month in. And already, like, what's been that much of a difference since what, January 20th to make me say that?
I think Stephen A. is going through a little buyer's remorse. And it's one of those things where we all, I mean, I'm not going to say we all, but people who voted Democrat stuck with the home team. But sometimes when you listen to Kamala talk, it was like, she's not answering any questions.
So why is she the home team? Why did you vote for her? And she been answering questions since
Clark Atlanta.
Like that's my thing. It's like, this ain't nothing new. So this whole July to November, y'all didn't listen? Or you listen, or you looked at your color and said, I must do what
it was drafting the first round pick, saying I'm gonna always play the first round pick.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's just, I trust them. One day they're gonna drop 25. They never drop 25, and all of a sudden, they never drop. Like that's what you're saying. Like
you're the first round. Hey, you're the first round pick. You gonna if you number one pick, you gonna play.
Period. And that's
you know that.
But this is not the same, because you're saying why? Hold on, guys. You're saying why we even make him a first round pick? Like, where's her stats?
We didn't have anybody else.
The general
her stats was I'm black, you black, right?
First round pick.
Like, that's what's so scary. I don't understand. You voted for her. I can hear it. Don't lie.
I did vote
And you got
for
Clark
her.
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Nobody from Clark Atlanta voted for Trump, but go ahead. That I can almost prove.
You ain't never lied.
I don't think the hometown thing has to do with her just being black. It's just being a lifelong Democrat. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. But it's like their strategy this year, it felt they casted a wide net, and we're trying to pander to a lot of things that necessarily didn't fall, that I had to care about. And I think you got to respect the conservatives. They have a few talking points. They stick to it. That's what it is. Either you're gonna get down or lay down, and they don't care if you do it or not. And they have a more they're more bullheaded about their beliefs, where the Democrats try to just pander to everybody, and you spread yourself too thin, and nothing comes through. There's no decisive arguments or points that they are compassionate about enough to earn your vote. Yeah. The beliefs that you have are being catered to or listened to.
I love it, but that sounds like a revelation. And it can't be a revelation, or can it, in a week?
No.
It's been 1 week.
No.
But she had 6 months, and y'all wasn't listening. And then 1 week, oh, man, dang, man. Like dog, they've been telling you them J's are at Foot Locker on sale for 6 months. And then you had the money.
Right.
And then you complain the week after they gone. I'm like, dog, why didn't you go up there for 6 months and cop them J's?
It's going to have to be a whole game plan change. in 26 and 28,
I
if
think
the
it's
Democrats
deeper-
would have any kind of inkling to win the next election.
I think it's deeper than I think it's deeper than like personality. I think it's deeper than policy. I think it's like this fear-based society has people shook. I'll go back to when I was a kid. I remember my best friend growing up before he got killed was a rock and roll skateboarder who converted to liking bikes, in part because that's what black kids do. Like the black kids don't ride skateboards. We certainly don't listen to rock and roll. And his dad used to listen to Van Halen and hit me to Van Halen. And then I remember, see, my personality is the same since I was little. Like, I'm not gangster. I'm not a punk. I'm just like, I'm gonna do what I wanna do. And I'm not bothering you. And if you judge mine, I'm like, okay. And I just keep laughing and going on my way, right? So then they start clowning me. They're like, dog, why you listening to Van Halen? And I was like, might as well jump. Go ahead, jump. Like, I'm like, and then they don't like that. And I was like, have you heard Panama? Like, what is wrong with you? And they didn't mean the song. They didn't mean like Van Halen. They were like, you acting white, dog. And I was like, I am 9 years old or whatever it is.
I don't even know what that means.
What you talking about? Like, I listen to Run DMC too, and I like Panama. And I swear we have now grown up to be older kids who are still getting pumped.
They have grown up to be.
Yeah. I'm trying to throw myself in there because I'm sure I got a blind spot somewhere, I hope. But I'm like, I just watched the whole movement that was trying to tell me them J's weren't on sale and I had the money. And now they acting like, oh, I couldn't have gotten them. And now I don't believe you. I'm like, I just don't understand. If you tell me your real pressures, because it couldn't have been the policy, it couldn't have been the personality, could it? Because he's still the same guy. If you didn't like Trump's personality then, why you like it now? He got the power again now. You know what I'm saying? So give it to me.
Yeah.
Jump.
Yeah. If a lot of what I see is the emotion that people have and who they're voting for, right? It's usually around a topic, something that is personal to you. And a lot of the times, those are the things that you're not going to be able to change, or the president's not going to change.
Like Harbaugh in Michigan, how you so personal for you.
Well,
You came in here so hot.
But I can't change. And I can't change that. So,
okay, you couldn't change it. I get it.
Okay,
All right.
Yeah. So it's personal. So anything that's personal is how you're going to look at the world and vote and do whatever and the candidate that you're looking for, right? With abortion and all those things, yeah, it's now to the states. Let the states do it. And I get it. Like, yeah, could the Supreme Court went one way or the other? Could it have been a different case? But just letting don't measure these words. Get them out. This is the wrong show.
I know. You over here being way too careful for it. Like it's okay. The water ain't that deep if you can swim. Yeah. And I think we all can swim.
And I think if we looked at who you're voting for as president and they can see it as who your leader is and who's representing you, they don't all have to be like me. We were talking about coaches before, right? Do you want a coach that's like you, or do you want a coach that's going to make you better overall, right? And give you different tools, make you think differently, make you do things different. So it's got a challenge. It's got to be in there listening, though. You can't be just hearing just only the voices you want to. You got to truly listen. If you're going to ask the question, hey, what do you think? You got to do something about it. And I think there's a little difference here in who we're seeing with some of the candidates.
Yeah, people scared, man. Yeah. I know we got some more NARPS that want to come in here. Yeah. Come on, Richie and Justin.
I ain't gonna lie.
Listen, I'm listening.
With me not knowing politics, like going forward in the next election, I'm definitely gonna do a lot more research myself because, I mean, I'm not gonna sit here. I'm not scared to admit I voted for Ms. Harris because she was African American. Okay. And I'm gonna sit here in a minute and be honest, but talking to other people and seeing things now, I'm having a different perspective. But going into the next election, I'm definitely going to educate myself a lot more. Yeah. And I wish I would have this one, but you know, I can sit here and admit to my mistakes.
Well, is the 2028 election going to be the biggest thing in American history if Trump changes this whole thing where Trump and Obama can race against each other?
Oh wow!
I think that would be the biggest thing ever.
Who, Michelle or Barack?
No, Barack. They're gonna if he's gonna try to pass the
law.
Barack
will beat Michelle right now.
No, Barack versus Trump.
Why do you get Michelle
for a third?
First of all, everybody wants Michelle to run.
No, no.
I've heard Michelle should
Only
run.
Jennifer Aniston wants Michelle.
I mean, I don't know about y'all so stupid. I don't know about that. but-
Hatch, that would almost take an act of God. You'd have to change the Constitution and the constitutional. Yeah, but that you know what the threshold for that is in the Congress and in the Senate? It's an ultra high thing that'll never happen.
Yeah, okay.
So stop
Yeah,
that.
yeah, let's not
Stop
give too
that.
much
And you
energy to
can't-
that, 'cause that's not
And
here.
here's the thing. How can Stephen A. compare Trump's presidency to Kamala Harris's presidency when Kamala Harris has never been president? Being vice president isn't like being president. I'm not Marcellus Wiley. That would be like me saying this is my show and I get to control the things that happen.
It is your show, though.
Well,
He talks more than me.
so
But is he comparing that?
Well, if he has buyer's remorse, or if he's saying that he is sorry about what? You don't have anything to compare it to. You don't know.
I think he's trying to make the comparison of his expectation of what would happen if Trump won, and the realization of, wow, maybe I was hypnotized to what Harris was saying, because really now I look back, I didn't hear enough to even warrant my vote. If I'm, look, and I hate this guesswork, but it's like, now you look back at everything that was going on the Democratic side, and you're like, what the hell? And Trump is better than you expected.
Well, yeah, but is he? Because are you taking a list of what he said he was going to do? Because you walk into Ralph's, eggs are $9 a dozen.
Oh, in 1 week, that's good, because it was $11 before the election.
Well, no,
Go ahead.
Prices aren't going down. Gas hasn't gone down.
If she would have got in office, it'd be the same thing anyway. It doesn't.
Well, that's right.
That's got nothing to do with nothing.
And DP, that's exactly what I'm saying. The president
You haven't said
can't
it yet. What do you
control that. The president can't
But let's
control
not-
the price of eggs.
Let's get a high level
can't control
thesis
the
out
price
there.
of gas.
Yeah, but
that's exactly what I'm saying.
I don't like this attempt. Maybe I've been in broadcast too long. You're going so granular, and you're making these comparisons that even if true, is let him go.
Well,
no, let him go. Listen.
But see, you're the granular.
You're not listening. Let me
Marcellus, you're the most
I
granular
guess it is the
person.
show.
Right?
I'm not
And
the most. No, I
and
don't.
that's what
I'm not
love
going to
you.
entertain
That's what I
you right
love
now.
about you.
No, I don't love that.
You will take words. You said it yourself. I will dissect
Richie, won't
exactly
you let
what
the show
you
flow?
said.
That means like flea flicker. like let him go. We need to get first. We're addressing what Stephen A. is saying or attempting to say because of his actions that fast. I want to get that out before I start saying, I don't know what the price of eggs are. And I don't care if people say, you out of touch. No, I'm not. Instacart knows. I just paid the damn bill. So you tell me high level what you think was happening right here.
So here's what I think. The whole eggs, groceries thing, that's child's play.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a low
I hate when
level
people
it's a
start
low level
telling-
conversation that doesn't really have anything to do with it.
And let's say it respectfully. We know it's high because we all got to pay it.
Right.
So we're not saying I'm rich enough, I ain't tripping.
But when it comes to presidency, we're not really gonna factor eggs and groceries into that because it's bigger fish to fry.
Okay.
I think with Stephen A., where he's coming from is more because, and whether you like it or not, the issue with Kamala, and she was kind of set up for failure because she got thrown in there in the last minute.
way late.
But Kamala, I apologize.
It got to be K.
Kamala,
You better
I
say
apologize.
K.
I know that's Richie's sister. He ain't playing. But the point is, I think where she lost a lot of people. One, she didn't entertain things that she should have. Like there was a lot of interviews that she chose to not do that would have helped her. And also, there's things. I think even on whether you're Democrat or Republican, I think the issue is people got tired of Democrats saying things that they were going to do, but don't actually do it.
Okay.
And I think where Trump wins in that situation is whether you agree with him or not. Everything he said he gonna do it. We can see that in the first week already. So hold on.
You gotta hold on, dog.
Hold on.
Or you gonna be over there on the bench. Dog, you gotta. Did he play sports?
So like
you can't get the ball every play, dog. Well, that's a sport.
Right.
Like you gotta wait for him to hit it back. And even in tennis, you gotta wait for the ball to come back.
I'm
You just
waiting.
swinging. The ball over there, dog.
I let you say the stuff you said.
Yes, we gonna get
even
you.
though I didn't agree.
Remember,
I
we
let
have
you say
enough
it.
time to do it all.
Right.
Woosah.
But
Breathe.
his whole thing coming in was a lot about immigration and the migrants and criminal migrants being here, Biden allowing them to be here and run them up. For his constituents, the people that are pushing for him to be in office, his biggest thing was, I'm cleaning all of that up as soon as I get in. And the first week, whether you agree with it or not, he immediately came in and he's shipping everybody out. He's locking people up. If you're a migrant here and you got a criminal record, he's immediately taking you out. So he's standing on business. He's literally doing exactly what he said he's going to do. And I feel like, so somebody like Stephen A., like if you're looking at that, it's right in front of you. Like I said, I'm gonna do this. This is what I'm gonna do. On the other side, it was kind of you never really knew what her point was or what her
business was. Gonna
it
be
was like,
fully, huh?
I'm gonna tell you what you want to hear. I'm gonna give you all these rap concerts, and I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna do all the performances, a lot of tap dancing.
Ooh, Richie's shaking now.
Yeah, I know. I see him.
Megan,
I don't care I don't care who you voted for. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, we all as much as you like Kamala, you ain't gonna tell me that they wasn't playing in your face. All these concerts and all that, it was about the performance more than about the policies, and that's a fact. It's not an opinion.
Justin, you're so wrong.
I'm so right.
And you're I love you to death.
It's mutual.
Now I gotta cut you.
Now I gotta cut you. You said that it's important to do what you say. He said day one, I'm gonna cut the price of eggs. He said that. I'm gonna bring the cost of gas down. I'm gonna bring the cost of groceries down. I'm gonna bring the interest rate down. I'm gonna do all of that on day one. That's what he said.
We're not having a hardball Michigan year one combo.
That's what he said.
If
Here's
it's
what I'm
already
saying.
started and it happens in June, do what he said.
But here's what I'm saying. You can't use that argument against one person when the other person has done the same thing but has not delivered. Okay? So I'm not saying
I get it.
Everybody makes campaign promises. People running for Congress
What
say,
he
"I'm going to
said is
bring
she didn't
down.
make the right
I'm going to
promises,
bring
though.
down
That's what he's
violence in my neighborhood." No, you're not. Congress doesn't do that. And anybody I worked in the U.S. Senate, I know what people do and what their capabilities are in their positions. Right
now, map on what you're going to say next to Stephen A. Smith, who says basically he feels different, a fool from what he a week ago.
And that's why it's so befuddling, Marcellus.
No, not befuddling. I want you to explain in 1 week how someone can make that transition in their mind to now I feel regret over 1 week that you said Trump hasn't done anything.
I didn't say Trump hasn't done
Well, he hasn't
anything.
done what he said he promised to do, whatever that level is.
I don't even understand.
Let me just say this before you go.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
What he's asking you is, I guess, the direct of what we're talking about now. You skipped over the stuff I said he did do to talk about what he didn't do. You're not addressing what I actually said he did do to talk about groceries. The other stuff he said he was going to do, he literally came in the first week and did it.
Okay. No, y'all got to be careful now because I know what's happening here. We are not running the play Coach called. Coach is saying we got to run a dive. Yeah. I don't want you guys to we already voted. You're not changing anything.
Not changing
and we still going to the grocery store.
Yes.
Stephen A. Smith and others, and I'm using him just because that's a name we can rally around. It's not about him. It's about, wow. A lot of people are like, I got a little regret. I should have voted for him, etc. That's the noise. Can you explain that noise? And why would someone almost make a 180 in 1 week time when they had 6 months at least lead up of the opposite?
All we can do is theorize, right?
That's what we're here for.
And my theory is that he feels like Trump is better for his personal concerns, his money. His corporation.
And it's about his personal.
It's
that
his
ain't got
personal.
nothing to do with us.
That's the only thing that
his
it can
endorsement.
be.
But wasn't it that way 6 months ago?
His
See,
endorsements.
so
I
there's
don't
no.
know. See, but
as my grandma said, you can't make sense out of nonsense. If 6 months ago, if it was for his personal concern, because he was rich then, he's rich now, whatever we're gonna say.
But he's about to be richer.
But yeah, but rich is rich. That tax bracket ain't changing. Ain't another one higher. Yeah. So like, I sit here and let me say my direct thing is like, I know a lot of people because they know that I supported Donald Trump that were scared to say exactly what I said. And I said to them, all right, I'm never outing you. I got texts, I got emails, I got every letter and thing I can show to people what profile platform saying the opposite of what they say on shows. That's one of the funniest thing about me knowing in this business is I know people who will say one thing on air and then a completely different thing in group text, etc. But that's not my place to out you. But my thing is, why are you living like that? Why are you so scared? And then I think some of them, and I'm not putting on Stephen A. Smith, a week later be like, you know what, they right. And I'll be like, I don't know if we right or you've been wrong in telling everybody you was on the other side when you really weren't. That's what I'm feeling and smelling from a lot of people. Now where we go? Yeah.
He's the most popular person on sports TV.
Oh, yeah.
But in the end, I always look at him with a side eye.
For sports takes?
Well, as a human being, I look at people as human beings.
Okay, yeah, I get it.
And anybody who's only about their money, I look at it with the side eye. I really do. I look at humanity. I look at what's good for the whole. And anybody who is just in things for themselves, I think is part of the problem.
But isn't that the perspective of everybody?
Yeah. Exactly.
I look at you and I'm like, you're in it for yourself. You and your family is way more important than me and my family.
And I'll tell you.
If you're going to have an honest conversation. You can sit there and lie about it. Like, no, I care about everybody. And that's not true. I don't think everybody cares about everybody.
Well, no, Hatch, there's certain things that are specific to you and your family. And there's certain things that are specific to the whole, right? Your great aunt needs her Medicare. She needs her Social Security. She needs the price of eggs to be $4 instead of $10, $9.99 or whatever it is, right? So if we thrive as a whole, we don't fight. We don't fight about these little things.
That will never happen the rest of this eternity that me and you are on this planet. We will all never get along.
You did undermine capitalism.
Right.
My bladder's off real quick, but you did undermine capitalism.
I think where the waters get muddy in there is like, yeah, the idea of us functioning as a whole is cool, but at the end of the day, your great aunt that you brought up, she has her own vote.
Right.
So at the end of the day, everybody has to vote for themselves, what you specifically feel like will work in your favor. You're never going to be able to vote for a whole society. Like, it's just unrealistic. And I'm going to say Stephen A. real quick. I don't even think that he really voted for Kamala because he had money from the get-go, and I feel like he always knew what he wanted to do, but playing into it, it was like the reaction you get, like if you black and you vote for Trump, everybody's side-eyeing you. That's just what it is. So I think he kind of just played into that. But now, because he's already there, he's just like, we're here now. Now I can openly speak about it.
I think you're probably right about that. I really do. And I do think you can vote for the whole. I do think that there's a humanity that has to be dealt with. And I think that if everybody is only on their own island, we are doomed.
We are
because
doomed.
Capitalism... This is not a black and white thing.
No,
this
it's
is
a humanity
This is class
thing. I
warfare.
get it, yeah.
This is class. It's almost always been class warfare, right?
So if it's been like that for 500 years, why do you think it's going to change?
Well,
and I love he said it was class warfare. I just jump in, double dutch. Because when you bring up class and respect to this country and its history and then slavery, and you try to explain slavery through class, like basically Africans were selling Africans, and then they got connected to sell them to America, and then you talk about it as a class, not a race. They weren't looking for black people. Black people were the ones who of the lower class that got taken. Slavery existed everywhere within its own boundaries, intra. That means I sell you to you because you're a less powerful class. People get mad at that conversation, so we move on. And I'm glad you brought it up because right now, I respectfully think you're selfish because selfish and selfless have one thing in common, self. And if you're not, then I've not met that person, and I would love to digest that fully. But it's okay to say, at the end of the day, dog, my mortgage, I write it. It's okay at the end of the day, I'm writing these bills out. And we all are, as we're connected, interdependently, but don't trip. Independently, I got to put my stuff in priority first. And I look at this conversation, it's so funny, I swear this conversation is this. This conversation is about Trump was beloved decades ago, whatever you want to say.
The Prince years and all that stuff.
Yeah,
People
and
love
then
him.
he was hated. Yeah. And then now, since he won, and Snoop and Nelly and a few others have kind of softened the blow or took the hits, now I see the next wave of people come about,
we love him.
You know what? I think about, I regret.
Yeah.
I'm a fool for voting the other way. I wasn't looking at that way.
Is it that, or is he watching what he's saying now?
No, he definitely ain't watching what he's saying.
Yeah, I think he always speaks how he speaks. I think he's that arrogant that he just like, I don't care about what anybody think. I'm going to say what I say, and that's what it is. At the end of the day, he won the popular vote. So that tells you there's plenty of people that voted for him that's just acknowledging that they actually voted for him.
Yeah, depends on where you are. Some front yards in certain parts of the country, you got a Trump sign. Certain places, even if you voted for him, don't put that out there, right? Like, I get it. Not everyone promotes their vote, but if you are promoting your vote, it seems like it's not uniform. It seems like you are more inclined to promote a Democrat vote than a Republican vote.
And all I'm saying is that nothing has occurred in the month of January for him to have buyer's remorse on his vote.
That's why I'm
bewildered. It's not about what he said. It's all a
nothing.
smokescreen.
Nothing.
That's why I'm
nothing. So he either voted for him, like Justin said, or he didn't. And if he voted for him, maybe now he's trying to incur favor with the people and clean that stuff up. That's all. That's what I'm saying. Nothing tragic has happened because Kamala has not been president. So you don't know what she would have done in the first 100 days.
But I could guess. You ever see training camp be like, I don't know how you're going to play in the season, but I could guess.
If you notice, too, he's been doing a lot, and I think he's trying to transition out of sports a little bit. But if you notice, he's been doing a lot of political talk on different networks. He's been on Fox a lot and all of that. So I don't believe he actually voted for Kamala.
Me either. But
I think
let
it's,
him do
it's
him.
all for show.
Yeah. Because he just keep talking about Trump too much. It's always
every chance he get.
It's like,
man, Stephen A. trying to run for president.
I think so. I really think so.
He's definitely trying to get a seat in
I
politics
think
or
he
Congress
qualifies.
somewhere in there.
All right, let's transition as Stephen A. is transitioning a little out of sports to politics. And I ain't mad at it. Look, Stephen A. will be a very interesting vote. I don't know who he'll go against, 2028 or 32, but Gavin Newsom out there and Stephen A. Like you can say what you want. I don't know policies yet, but boy, all it does is make me think one day I'm gonna jump in that thing. I mean, at least I ain't gonna be scared to say what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna get it done. So let's transition and bring Carver and Big Mark up in here as we talk quickly about this Super Bowl. We got to get back to sports. Goddamn. Super Bowl. Keys to victory, Hatch. Keys to victory, Donald Penn. Tell us, what do you see in the Super Bowl matchup? Keys to victory.
What you see, buddy? What you see?
I just feel like Kansas City.
And who do you got?
I hate to say it, but I think Kansas City is just going to win.
Okay.
It's not who I got. I just think that's just the logical answer because they're just so poised.
You just vote Democrat now. Huh?
Because they got.
I'm just gonna vote.
Because they majority black.
I'm black.
Because they majority black. I'm going with you. I'm messing with you, but it's just what I've seen so far. The Chiefs are hard to beat.
This guy.
The Chiefs don't. The Chiefs do everything right. They don't hurt themselves. Andy Reid has 2 weeks
to get ready, which he always does
2
well.
weeks.
2 weeks between games.
2 weeks.
It's a long time.
And the only way I feel like Philly can really take this game is if they win the time of possession and they pound that clock and they keep Patrick on that sideline. The only time I've ever beat Kansas City was when we won time of possession. And I feel like if they could do that and keep him off the field and maybe get a turnover, I feel like Philly could get it, but Kansas City just so strong. They got to do that to get it.
I don't think you have to keep Kansas City off the field anymore, right? They don't take shots down the field. They're not going up and down the field like they did, 2 years ago when they won it and have all these big playmakers. They're trying to run the ball, play good defense, which Philly's the exact same team as they are. I think it's going to easily come down to that last 4 minutes of the game. Low-scoring game. It's going to be that 15-13, whatever. And I think the tush-push is going to get a huge first down because it's been unstoppable, and I think that's how they go seal the game. And
They're going to have to run that ball and keep it on.
Yeah, I don't see nobody
that's Kansas
stopping
City's
Saquon.
Achilles heel is run defense.
Absolutely.
You got to look at anything from Kansas City as a whole.
Right.
Offense, defense, it's their run defense.
Yeah, and I think Saquon
That's
gonna
why
have
he
a
blitzes so
big
much.
day.
Yeah, that's why he blitzes so much to disguise it.
Yeah.
But they're not as high powered.
Offense no more.
The offense that we are used to
there's
seeing.
no
We see
big
the same
plays.
uniform. We see the same players. It's just not moving like
Yeah,
that. the
they're
same.
not taking those shots.
So, like, I wouldn't go out of my way for time of possession. I would love to control the clock because I can control tempo, control pace, control this game. But I'm like, this ain't like I got to bleed them to win. I can actually outscore them if I'm Philadelphia. That's my confidence.
Yeah, I mean, the major keys for the Eagles, I would say, is definitely the run game. You got to be able to run the ball. You got to be able to complete the medium to short passes. We don't need the explosive 30, 40-yard pass.
Ain't that all Jalen could do?
The medium, that's all Tom Brady did.
I'm telling you what they say. Jalen can throw deep balls.
Yeah,
really
he
good.
can throw it. Come on,
really
man. That boy
good.
from Alabama.
Really good.
I
I gotta get you off your square.
That boy's strong, right? But it's just more along the lines of not playing superhero ball.
Yeah.
Be consistent. Get your 200, 210 yards passing, no turnovers. Get your rushing touchdowns with the tush push. Make the plays in the red zone. Make the right calls, and you'll be solid. And then for the Chiefs, I'm gonna be honest. They got to get Hopkins involved. They've got to continue because they're doing a better job of doing
I like
that
the way
because
you
they
went from
doubling
200
Kelsey.
to 210.
You know,
I like the way you went from 200 to 210 for Jalen.
listen, that's all I
That's a
need.
big
I
jump.
don't
That's
need
a
him
big
stretching.
jump. That's a
and
big jump.
Yeah, because
That's a big
Boy,
jump.
y'all do not respect Jalen.
no, what I'm saying
200,
is,
210.
what I'm saying is that we don't need him taking unnecessary risks.
But
We don't, like, there were a couple one-on-one, there were a couple man coverages last game that
That
Antonio
throw
Brown.
to A.J. Brown, was his
he
best
could
throw
have
of the
thrown
playoffs.
that ball. He could have given him a chance, a 50-50 ball, but there's also a chance that the DB picks it off. You know what I mean? So he didn't take those risks.
No,
But I
that's
kinda
not
just-
taking a risk from the quarterback perspective. I'm not throwing it because I think it's a 50-50 ball. I'm throwing it to complete the pass.
Yeah.
So Jalen's not. He's like, well, I'm out here and I'm gonna make. Like, no,
I mean,
he's like, I'm gonna complete this. If it's a tip ball or something like that, we can't say, well, he shouldn't
what
have
I'm
do
saying is
that.
like 2 or 3 times last game that did happen, and he chose to pull it down and throw it out of bounds or run for like 1 or 2 yards. He just didn't take the unnecessary risk. He stayed within the confines
But that's
of the
he's
offense.
just being smart.
And
that's
he's being
Jalen
smart.
always.
That's why I
Jalen
don't
is
want him
always
going out there
smart.
trying to get 350. I don't want him to go out and try to do what he did last Super Bowl.
I just don't agree with you
just-
guys thinking that Pat Mahomes being out on the field is a good idea for Philly. I just don't think what he's doing.
There's nobody that scares you for a big play. Again, the whole.
Big
Oh,
play.
don't say that
Big,
word.
You say big play.
Worthy
You say
scares
big
me.
play. No, Hatch.
But
You
he's
say
young.
scare you because
you
you
say
know
big
what
play.
he's gonna do. You know he's gonna be on the
Yeah.
reverse.
But you say
it's gonna
Hatch-
be the screen, the double pass, something like that. You know exactly how you're gonna get a big play from
They're
Worthy.
not- they're not
Will they
big.
get one?
Question.
Yeah, they'll
question
get one.
for you.
But they're not gonna get
Why
4.
don't they throw the ball up for Worthy downfield more frequently?
Because right now they're West Coast offense. They're West Coast
I mean,
offense.
it's hard to do that.
They're taking their time. They're
Yeah.
picking their holes.
Kelsey will take his
And
6 and take his 12.
and they're running the clock up.
I agree. That's why they're not gonna take
And
shots.
they know with the ball in Mahomes' hands,
They have a better chance to beat.
that's why I'm trying to say, you guys don't agree with me. That's why I think you got to get that ball out that guy's hands.
I agree with you. No, not at all.
Yeah, you can't.
Hey, I agree with you though.
We love you.
No. I'm Chiefs all day because it's a saying I say. Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes, that's my homie. But he don't know me. They know how to win, bro. If you see him on the sideline when the game is going on, he's relaxed. He has poise. He's been there. He knows how to win. Now, Philly, if you guys got a shot to win, I mean, if you do want to win, but you gotta. You have to. You have to take the strategy from TB, Tom Brady in Tampa Bay.
That was the only team that really put hands on Kansas City in the Super Bowl. Shut them down, offensive. But
I don't remember that score. What was that? Anybody?
it was like 39-9 or 38-9.
Oh wow. Okay.
But
Yeah.
Who do you think, if they have the ball last, who has a better chance of winning?
If they have the ball last.
Has the ball 4
If
minutes
it's not
left.
on the, if it's
I'm
on
going
2 yard
with
line
Chiefs.
in, I know who you going with. I know who you going with.
I'm going with
And
the
this-
Chiefs.
and
I'm
this
going with
kinda-
the Chiefs.
Because the
Yeah.
whole thing is not gonna, they're not gonna have to go up the field, up and down the field, because both offenses are gonna score some. It's just not gonna be the 45 to 41. They're just so
I can't see
equal.
that.
I guess the
that
real
it
question I
doesn't
have for
really
y'all
matter.
is who has the better defense for you guys?
Who has the number one
Who has
defense in
the
the
better?
NFL?
No, just like at this point, it doesn't even matter. It's the Super Bowl.
Oh, it matters,
What
'cause
defense
Philly's
is gonna? What
defense is-
defense
no, it
is gonna
doesn't
come in and
matter who in the
perform
NFL.
the best?
Can I reword that for
y'all
you?
Three, yeah.
Whose defense is playing best now?
Philly.
Because it doesn't matter who's.
Philly's
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
yards.
All the season
stats
doesn't
is out
matter
now.
anymore. It's
All
one
them stats,
game.
that's why I said who's playing better
Yeah.
now. Because all them stats are out. But you know one thing I really do think Kansas City's going to have to do a good job of? They can't let Saquon get out there with no big runs. They can't have no 60-yard.
let's
They got
talk
to
about
keep.
it.
They got to keep it
Most
within 10
teams
big.
say that.
But
most
I
teams
mean,
deal
I
with
know
that.
it's
Yeah.
I'm saying
He's gonna have one.
That's one of the things that they're going to have to do. They're
We
going
have
to
about
try
three
to
of
keep
them.
them long runs
So-
and gain tackle.
Right.
The
They're
more
going to gain tackle.
explosive offense is definitely Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Explosive, right? You got Smith and you got A.J. Brown, you got Saquon,
And he's a home run hit one
right?
time away.
All
Yeah.
day.
Just everywhere.
Now you also have the best defense in the NFL, Philly, right? But
Best
you
special
also,
teams.
Best special teams, Philly. But Patrick Mahomes is still going to find a way to be there at the end of
Best
the game,
running back.
regardless.
Yeah, because a lot of that is the matchups and styles makes fights. So
I'm sorry. What advantage do you think Kansas City has over the Eagles? We just talked about all the things.
you asked me one more question, Carver. God dang, like, Carver ain't got no. This is
gotta
an
tee it up
opinion
for you.
show. He got all these questions. I'm trying to get your opinion, not your question. No, I'll mess with you. No, I'm not. Let me I got me questions. I don't care. You know what? No, I love your point. Who cares what defense you rank? You didn't one. Did we play each other? No. Second of all, who would you play? And like, you can hide behind yardage. Like, we got a number one defense because we shut down all the teams we played in yardage. And then you walk up and play against them, you're like,
Smack.
they don't know what to do with Saquon out this backfield. They don't, and I think that's to your advantage if you're an Eagles fan. This game to me looks like you got to have to. It's a mental game. I swear you guys are already down maybe 4 points because you go into a Super Bowl and everyone is saying old Patrick Mahomes, old KC stuff, and literally you're playing a new team. Nick Saban famously quoted, "Hey guys, every year after the Alabama win a championship, remember you are not repeating as champions because this team ain't exactly the same. None of us are exactly the same. So this is not the same exact Chiefs team that won last year. I don't know who got traded, who got cut, who hurt, but some coaches left. It's just a different animal. But the thing is, when you're playing them, you think it's the same old Chiefs. And so now you're high jumping at 7 feet off the first one instead of like, nah, build it up and see how high this is gonna get.
Well, you know what though? Here's the kicker with what you just said. The mindset. You guys talking about, right? Patrick Mahomes, he's sitting there chilling. He's not nervous. They gonna have a chance in the fourth quarter. Jalen Hurts is the same way.
Yeah. Winner.
They just went to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. You
Winner.
don't think they've learned from that?
No,
They're not going to be, oh, well, it's the Chiefs, and we got, they're like, hey,
He said no.
if you give us the ball 4 minutes left, we go win the game. That's how
Yeah,
the Eagles
you
feel
feel
right
that?
now.
I feel that, but again, it comes down to who's been there and the most experience because KC knows how to finish the game. I'm not knocking Philly. They can do.
But they haven't finished every game. And they haven't finished every Super Bowl.
No,
So
they
it's
haven't.
like, for you to go against that team, you just afford them so much. It happens in life all the time. Like, this is David and Goliath, like the psycho breakdown. It's like when you're someone's good, my kids do this all the time. They were like, that team hasn't lost. I was like, they haven't played us, so what? And they were like, well, look how big he is. I was like, no, chop that tree down. Like everything you're gonna think, but when you're not the one, they don't give you those thoughts. They actually undervalue you. They understate what's really the real. So it's I swear, if Philly can show up at this game from kickoff and like, this ain't the old Chiefs. This is whoever we about to play.
Exactly.
And they
got to
But
smack
this
him in the
also
mouth.
isn't the
But they got to
old
smack him
Eagles.
in the mouth. Philly got to understand when you look at the Super Bowl the Chiefs lost. Patrick Mahomes had a makeshift O-line. He was getting smacked. He has a makeshift left tackle. The center moved to left tackle right now. They don't have a left tackle. You know, Philly has two good tackles that I think are going to be able to do a great job on Chris Jones. I think we're going to see Chris Jones inside a lot more than we've seen on the outside because Chris Jones, as you know, he picks his matchups.
I don't know, man. It's kind of tight on the inside.
Yeah, he walked that line like he
on
wanted.
the inside, man. I tell you what, when you see that, let me see if you get Chris Jones to stop that tush push. If you stop that in the first quarter,
I think if we keep him out there,
But you
like
can't
to
get
your
him into
point,
that. You
if we
can't
can
get him into that 4th and 2.
they go find it. They go find a 4th and 2.
You got to try not to. That's going to be the toughest thing
I
because you
agree.
got such a good running back and a running game. You're an old coordinator. Who does not love 2nd and 4? Second and 8.
Oh yeah, take a
Second
shot.
and
Take a
5.
shot.
So who does not love that as a
All right,
part?
get yours in, big dog, and then let's swap out. We got some more NARPS that is chomping.
Gotcha.
Yeah, let's hear it.
I mean, to your point, what you said earlier about, man, I lost my spin.
I knew it. That's what I'm saying.
Eagles panic. Eagles panic.
What team has the most pressure to win the Super Bowl?
The Chiefs. The Chiefs.
If the next narc come in here with another question, y'all got to tell us. And this is not. Let's reset this show as y'all get up. Thank you. This is not a show where we know it all. No, this is a show where y'all actually know way more than y'all giving yourself credit. Like in the Chiefs-Eagles matchup, Eagles ain't giving themselves enough credit probably in their head. Like, oh man, you know Patrick Mahomes gonna be there. I'll be like, man, Jalen Hurts been there too. Like, let's go.
Yeah, they have, but he didn't win though.
Right, y'all still ain't get up. See, that's what I'm saying. Like I need y'all to come in here. But in all seriousness, this is like a real big lesson. Like, we've been in those games before. Maybe not a Super Bowl game for me for sure, but I've been in a game before where I'm like, do not lose this game before I play this game.
That part.
You know?
That's all. It's
Like,
mindset.
don't lose this game before I play this game. Simple.
Don't try to change your routine up.
No.
Don't try to do nothing. I'm a big routine guy.
Yeah.
And if my routine got shook up, I had to psych myself out because I was a big routine guy. I forgot something.
But again, them losing that Super Bowl 2 years ago is why they're not going to panic. They've been here. It's not a big deal.
That might serve them very well. They've lost in this moment before. Look at it. I got my nerves here scared. Y'all here for a reason. Drop it. What do you see?
So about Eagles, Chiefs?
Yeah.
So here's what I see. I hate the Chiefs, by the way, but I dislike them.
Yeah.
But I'm rooting for the Eagles. Rooting for Saquon. He deserves it. He was in just a terrible spot for so many years, and he just showed up. Good attitude, team player, saying all the right things. He could have broken the record. He didn't. Why? Resting himself up. For this moment.
Yes.
So I'm going to root for the guy that just did all the right things for his team, for his coach, and that's someone that I would play for, right? And I would get everything I had. So I'm rooting for the Eagles. Carver, I hope you get it. Yeah.
I won't put you on the spot like that, John. I get it. We're going to transition. I just wanted to hear what Eugene had to say about that. Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen are in the same predicament, literally. Yes. Like friendly fire they did to themselves in the sense of their receiver, tight end, both had an opportunity to save them and to help enhance their legacies. You get a drop from both of those guys in those key games, in the key moments. So if I'm sitting there, how do I handle that? Like, we've been in the locker room before and y'all been on the outside, like, what they supposed to do? Tell me what you think if you both of those guys.
You don't make no goddamn statement. What the fuck is this new age football? Man, Andrews made a damn statement.
Oh.
Well, he made it late.
But that's a week later.
You don't make no damn statement.
Okay.
You go handle that shit in the
off season.
It's tough.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It's going to hurt.
So you saying directly after the game, go to the podium, just break it down and move on?
Move on.
Yes.
You don't make no statement. That means when you make a statement that late, that means you letting everybody know the outside world won.
How you feel? Yeah.
That outside noise got to you.
Yep.
That outside noise, you heard it.
I'm sorry, fans.
You know, you already, and you move on. You on vacation somewhere with your kids thinking about what you could do to get better going forward. You got to put that behind you, especially a week later. I was just upset with the apology, man. You went out there and played your butt off. Look at everything you did during the season before that catch. I mean, stuff happens. Stuff happens.
I mean,
stuff
look,
happens.
Andrew is handling a certain way, and then Kincaid, I think, who's the rookie, that's probably a lot tougher on him.
Not tougher.
You know?
Yeah.
I think, again, get back to the drawing board. Take the week off, get away from football, probably 2 weeks most at
Get
most.
away from social media.
Definitely get away from social media.
When I used to,
But
man,
you get
I ain't
back
gonna lie,
to the
speak
gym.
up. When I used to go out for to Cancun or Cabo, man, I tried my hardest. Like, hey, I'm gonna put that away while I'm at the beach for a little bit. Like it's tough.
clear your
I'm not
mind.
looking at that. You know, I want to watch football.
I know what
I'm
you're looking at.
I'm not looking at it.
It's your boy.
Yeah, but I was just I'm upset with the statement being made, man. You letting the media and outside world know that, hey, you heard us. Oh, he heard us.
Yeah.
Oh, he heard us.
Yeah.
Oh, we got what we wanted.
I hate that too. I'm not gonna lie. I used to always clown my boys. So it's like I used to clown, but like, dog, you producing right now. You're in a production. I call it a production of personality. So when we lose, I don't have to act sad. And I used to get mad at my team, like, why you acting so sad? Like, we got another game next week, right? This ain't do or die. I understand, and I'm not trying to talk you out of how you feel. I'm saying, dog, keep perspective. Like, we could do this again next week and change how we feel. But I saw a lot of guys that do this. Peep game. All right. They walk in the locker room. What you up to, Wiley? What you up to? All right. Oh, I got to go to the podium. I'll be right back. Then they get to the podium.
They were somber. The somber look.
And then wait. So I'm like, okay. And then they come back and come in the locker room. So what we going to do? What's up? What we going to get into? I'm like, hey, dog.
That's fake.
That's fake.
That's fake. So when we lost the game in Minnesota, right, or really most of the teams, wherever we were, right, when you lose the game, the family's right here. You come down, you see the get dressed to the locker room, right? Yeah. The family's right here. Doors open. Everybody walks in, see the family after win. Everybody, good win, da-da-da. If you lose, you don't even go in the room. You be like,
yeah.
And you walk into
right.
It's an authentic feeling, right?
What's this one, though? When you go up in there and you try to hurry up and shower before the media come up in there. Get your stuff. So
Well, I get me didn't.
I done did that before, man. I done did that. And then after the season, you know, after the season.
Don't you ask a question.
No,
ask a question. You know, banning y'all for
That's not a question. There's nothing wrong with being angry.
But you know, after the season, when the media comes in there that last day, you grab your stuff and be out of there.
I don't want to
Or you
talk
send
to
one of the
none of
trainers in
y'all.
there. I just send the trainer in there.
Go get my
Go
stuff.
get
Get my
phone
keys
and my keys and my phone and bring it to me just so I ain't got to go in there.
I'll come back and get my stuff later.
But nah, I feel like you should just address it there and let it be after that, man. You're off season, man.
Andrews did himself a disservice. He should have just went up there. Either I can't even speak, it hurts so bad. Okay, let them see it. Like, because you gave your power away to their judgment. When they got to give you respect and credit for how you are Mark Andrews. And if you don't fight for that, they ain't going to give it to you, and they're going to try and punch
So
you
to say
out.
there's nothing wrong with being angry, and there's someone I think about when I thought about what happened to the Bills, right, and what happened to Lamar. There's, remember the 06 NBA championship? Do you guys remember? Mavericks, the Heat, Dirk Nowitzki, up 2-0, lost the championship. Season after, they were the #1 seed. They lost to the We Believe Warriors, right? What did he do? Kicked the ball into the stands, locked himself in the house, right? But what he did after that was he left the country, went to Austria, found his trainer, developed that Dirk 1-foot fadeaway, right? He built his game. So piggybacking off of what you said, you can say stuff like, yeah, go on vacation, go make yourself better. But I'm saying go surround yourself with people who've been there. Learn from them. I don't know if there's a football player equivalent who's lost 2 in a row.
There's a lot of them.
Even if it's not
There's
just
a lot
football
of
players.
In
Basketball,
general, yeah.
Stuff with
baseball.
With
Surround yourself
love.
with love.
But if you're trying to win and you're not winning, Josh Allen's 0-3.
Josh-
0-4. 0-4 against the
Okay,
Chiefs.
let me
Lamar's
ask you-
0-3.
Don't you think Josh Allen has talked to Jim Kelly?
It's not about Jim Kelly.
No,
about
it
what
is
the-
about because how did you get through it? Nobody had worse. We didn't have the media like we do today, but that Jim Kelly Buffalo Bills losing 4 Super Bowls. in a row, Nothing was worse than that in the world, right? But Jim Kelly's going to give him a different perspective.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you're saying go find somebody. Yeah, there's tons of players out there that they can get perspective.
And
from.
you got to
Tons
take
of
a
them.
little bit of time off.
Yeah, no, 100% agree.
Got
Yeah,
to.
yeah, yeah.
2
And
weeks.
I just look. That's a
Get back
rookie
to
year
work.
picture of Josh Allen. He looks so young. And
Give it to me in your world. Because, I mean, like, a lot of times you guys got to understand these conversations, like, they always say sports is a microcosm of life, right? So when we talk sports and locker room, you could talk cubicle or boardroom, et cetera. Like, if somebody literally, all I asked you to do was one thing. You remember group projects in school? All I asked you to do was bring in that ceramic. And then they didn't bring it in and you get an F. And guess who's getting an F? You. Yeah, everybody, but then they gonna only talk about you getting the F. We all got an F, but they on your head because you're Josh Allen, because you're Lamar Jackson. Like, How y'all deal with that? Like, how would you feel if you undermine everything and it's gonna land all on me?
Shows the leaders and how you take it and who is overall responsible for what went down and taking ownership. Because when I see this, when you're in the locker room, you're yourself, and we were talking about selfish, selfless.
Yeah.
It's about you, how you feel, and what you do later on. When you're in front of the media and you're talking to people, you got your audience, you got your fans. You're changing lives there based on how you react to this. And I think that's a big issue is if you come in and kicking a ball into the stands or acting like, right, it's not leadership. So wearing a C on your jersey means something. Being a leader and stepping up and taking responsibility, what are you gonna do to improve next time? And that's what we do. In the business world, we're like, all right, mistakes happen.
How are you going to handle it?
Right, how are we gonna handle it? And I mean, the best coaches make it so the mistakes don't happen, so you don't have to deal with that. And that's training, that's practice, putting in processes, putting in things that make it so you don't have to deal with that.
So yeah, leadership is lonely. At the end of the day, right? I mean, if Jordan stood in front of the podium and said these things and went right back to work. Kobe did the same thing, right? If Lamar and Josh have to do that right now, it doesn't mean that they're not going to go win 5 Super Bowls in the next 10 years. But they have to know that today. They're not, oh, the world's ending, everybody. No, it's okay. I'm going to get back to work, take my 2 weeks off, and I'm back on the grind. But I think every athlete who doesn't win a championship feels the same way. Don't forget, there's only going to be one champion. Everybody else is losers. And everybody goes through that same thing of how do I start over? Just get back to the gym, get back to work, refocus, and you'll be fine at the end of the day.
And that's what I'm talking about. I hated that fake part because they think if you ain't somber and looking like you just lost everything in your life, that you didn't care and invest. And I hate that. I'm like, dog, no. It's all out on that field. Like, you can't reconcile, Lombardi said, like, leave it all on the field, then you just move on from it and try to do better the next time. When you actually live that role, when you actually live that out, they say, Now, what's crazy is, and this is not literal, but you know how Michael Jordan has the image, Kobe, rest in peace, the image of like, it was do or die every single moment in the game, right? Yes. But especially for Jordan, we also juxtapose that with all of these stories we've heard of Jordan was just chilling too, golfing, cigars. So after a loss, is he not supposed to go to the casino? Because is he not supposed to go hang out? Is he not supposed to smoke? But then he becomes Jordan. And I used to laugh, I'm like, dog, we can live and still give our 100% all to the game. Do you believe in that?
Hell no. Hell no.
Good, I'm glad.
Like I said, when we left and when there was a loss, there was no hee-hee-ha-ha. There was no dinner Sunday night when we lost. Go home.
I know, you're right, and that's the production I'm talking about.
Yes.
We didn't do the group thing.
Right.
But my phone's still blowing up. Hey, dog, where you at?
True.
Okay, so that's
let
what
me
I'm
ask
saying.
you this.
I'm saying we stopped acting like we all feeling good.
Right.
So we went into the cut, but we still were.
I still had to be myself.
Right.
So win or lose. Win or lose. If I was playing on that, if I was planning on it, I'm not saying every single time.
You have people in town, you still got to go out and go do something.
I'm not saying every single time I was planning on it, but I'm not going to let that just take over my life. I could say one time I had a bad year, and I remember I usually start working out mid-February. That year, after that bad year, I started working out beginning of February and January. I started
That's what I said.
a little bit earlier because I
working out again for the
I wanted to motivate me. I wanted to do a little grit. But during the season, we lose. I'm still gonna keep the same. I still got to be me, and if I'm not me, I don't feel like I'm gonna be able to be the best me out there when I play.
Right.
And I hate to be the guy that knows how many Hall of Famers still were them.
That's why I learned it from.
And I don't bolt. I ain't gonna mess your image up.
Oh,
dog.
yeah.
Like,
That's why I learned it from.
There's a
but
lot.
yeah, I'm like, dog, them dudes were still living. And
They were still partying.
Hey, win or lose, I'm gonna have my bottle on the plane ride home. I'm gonna have me a drink when I get home after the game.
People, though. You can't. Michael Jordan could stay up drinking, smoking, shooting dice till 6 a.m. and still go be the best.
Oh, the night for the game, I'm asleep before curfew.
Before
the game, man. I ain't gonna lie.
do that.
Night for the game, I'm talking about after. Night for the
You're
game, I'm
talking
asleep
about
before
1
curfew.
out of 8 billion, though.
Yeah.
So you can't. Everybody can't do that. So rookie, guy on the bubble.
You definitely
fourth
right.
year guy who's been on fourth. You can't do that. So Michael looked like he might have it all together because he's doing all these things, but he's earned that. He's warranted that.
I've seen guys I try to show that way, and I'm like,
they can't do it.
He messed it up.
no, why you barely getting there on time?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. You can't go with me no more.
Nah, I can't. Yeah, I can't.
Can't go with me no more.
Nah, and I'm doing it because I don't want to hurt you either.
Right, yeah.
You know, I'm trying to be a
You ain't good for this.
Like, hey, Penn, we still going?
Like, no, you.
Oh man, I fell asleep, man.
And you be out
the
already.
next day. Nigga, I heard you was out. Man, my bad, dog.
I took a nap. I
Yeah,
woke
you
up
know,
and I
like,
had
'cause
to
I was looking
get
out for you
outside.
though. Like, some people can't do both in that. You got to fill them out, because I've seen many.
Based on what you guys were saying, you're like, you win as a team, you lose as individuals, and you go off and do your own thing. Like,
It's closer to that, yes. It's
Hell yeah.
definitely closer to that.
is
Yeah,
that
you're definitely right, because I had some guys I had to drag out. Hey, we doing O-line dinner. You ain't been to one O-line dinner all day, but I just know he just goes home. I know that's what he does. He's home by. But hey, he gonna show up one time for us. All right, hey, he here, boom.
You a punk, that
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, we hype. Oh, the quarterback came because Derek Carr's my guy though, but he never went out like that. But he'll show up to the O-line dinners. He'll have a beer with us. You know, he's not a drinker like that, but he'll show up. He'll joke with us. He gonna give us that one time. We appreciate that because
It was only
we
one,
know
but it's authentic though.
because we know who he is and we know what he normally does. We know he gonna be there when the coach is there in the morning.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying?
I want to disagree with that. Well, from a youth perspective, you guys are saying lose individually, not as a team. So the last tournament, we got our butts whooped in the championship. We lost by 27. We lost by 27. We got our butts whooped. The kids are walking off mopey, sad, crying by themselves. And I told them, this is when champions are made. This is where you need to hold each other, be brothers, arms surrounding. It's easy to win. It's hard to stay together and be there for each other when you lose. And we all went out together after the loss. But you guys are saying loses.
That's a different
Okay, that's what I was saying.
mentality,
Okay,
because if you're 9-25,
Chuck E. Cheese open, we good.
Right.
Win, lose, or draw. I ain't tripping, Daddy.
Once you hit 21, you've learned, you went through that process mentally,
Okay.
emotionally, so you know how to handle it at
So
that
is
point in
that
time.
when do you go through that process? Junior high, high school, as pros? When
Depends
did you
how
go
many
from?
times you went through it. High school kids might not have ever lost. Then they go to Alabama, might not have ever lost. Then you get to the league, and it's your first time losing. You don't know how to handle it, but you have to go figure that out for yourself.
Yeah, that's a great point. All right, well, let's move on, man, as we transition and bring in Terry and bring in Just Blaze.
Just Blaze!
Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit of the best dynasty in sports ever. Oh, God, I know.
we already know
we got to
what
keep
that
this
is.
quick because I know
Hey, we
everybody wants some of this
We already
meat.
know who
You're
that
just
is.
mad because you can't talk about none of
We
your
already,
stuff.
we already know who that is. The best dynasty in sports?
It's an easy answer.
We only worth 30 billion 20 years later. What are we talking about?
I mean, look, he set the table with the Chicago Bulls, obviously Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, others,
Oh, my bad.
Phil
My bad.
Jackson. Let's
Them brand
talk
new. That's why
about,
they good. They brand new.
let's give some love to the current dynasty of the Kansas City Chiefs. We've lived through the Patriots, Cowboys, Celtics, Lakers. Denver won back-to-back, 97,
That's not a
98.
dynasty because you went back-to-back, though.
Yeah, unless you played against them. Terrell Davis was eating. But the point is, best dynasty in sports.
Yeah, don't start with me. You already know what it is.
You want to start?
All right, let's get this out the way. Let's throw this layup. Who is it?
I mean, the 90s Bulls are it's them and then everybody else.
But this is my thing. It got to keep going.
It did keep.
When is that? When is that?
It did
when
keep
is it?
going.
When is it going to circle back around?
When somebody has a
No, that's not fair. 2-3 pieces is good enough.
Yeah, if somebody dominates for 10 years, like, that's enough. That's enough time.
2-3 what school you go to? 2, 3, 6.
But they went back, though. They had a break.
The break,
With 2 years.
break gives me an opportunity for some other dynasty
No,
that didn't
Jordan
take that for.
retired.
Oh, that's the
He
break.
didn't lose.
That's a
He
break.
retired.
Oh, he
retired
lost.
3
No,
times.
he lost. He lost in
If we're
95.
talking about
In 95, he lost. Because had he
Orlando,
won, had he won in 95, he would have jocked that championship just as much.
We're talking about
So, no.
dynasties.
We're talking about.
We're talking about dynasties.
Okay, one at a time. One at a time. What we
You
at?
want to go?
Wait.
You want to go?
Hold on. No, give the definition of dynasty then first.
Something that's something past, middle, present, and probably got a future.
Nigga.
Bulls ain't got no future.
We don't.
Lakers,
We can't see
Lakers,
the future.
Y'all
Celtics.
thought I didn't have a definition. I just
Lakers,
wanted to hear
Celtics.
that definition.
Lakers
I knew that
and
was gonna be
Celtics.
comedy.
Lakers and Celtics.
We gotta say
They done it in the
only
a
because they're
sustained
relevant
level
now.
of excellence.
Man, thank you
Duration
for the.
being
I
3
mean, it's
years
gotta be
or
a-
more.
I love the
3 years
Columbia
3 years or more.
explanation.
Because
Yes.
you know what?
3 years or
the
more.
Spurs don't get counted as a dynasty
Nope.
because they never won back-to-backs.
But they
But
dominate.
But they had a 20-year span where it was like every few years.
I'll have to go with the Lakers and Celtics.
And no.
Lakers and Celtics.
Okay, I'm sorry. Which Lakers?
Which
Which Lakers?
The Lakers and you talking about whole dynasty and all, right?
No,
Are you just
the
talking about-
Magic Lakers or the Kobe Lakers or
oh.
the Wilt Chamberlain Lakers?
Well, not the Will.
That's Kobe,
Yeah,
right?
that had to be Kobe Lakers.
The Shaq Kobe.
But
Shaq
Kobe's always gonna be in the Shaq conversation.
Okay, it's the Shaq Kobe Lakers.
Kobe
Wilt
was
Lakers.
every time Shaq won with the Lakers, Kobe was there. So how would it not be?
Okay, good.
How would it not
Every
be?
time
You gotta take
Shaq
your Laker hat
won
off.
with Kobe, yes, but Kobe won two without
Kobe
him.
won
Exactly.
without
That's why I
Back to back.
said. That's why I
Back to
said it has
back.
to be Kobe. It
Was
can't be
that
Kobe and
5,
Shaq. It has to
6
just be
years
Kobe.
later?
Yeah,
Would
Kobe
you
won
count-
So that's why I
2010.
said it has to just be Kobe and not Kobe Shaq.
So will we count that in the dynasty?
No.
No, it's a
different
trying to
team.
start its
It's a
other
different
one,
team,
but it
yeah.
only had 2 years. As we just said, Denver Broncos
Had
2
2
years.
years.
We're
But
not
Yeah, the
counting
Kobe Lakers wasn't a dynasty.
Right,
That wasn't a
it's not a
dynasty.
dynasty. Right.
Yeah, they just went back to back.
So what do you have, and what do
Oh
you
my
have
gosh.
in terms of dynasty?
The correct answer is the 1980s Lakers. They had five. They had 5 championships, 5 Hall of Famers: Magic, Kareem, Worthy, Cooper, Wilkes, maybe McAdoo. 2 of the best players of all time, top 5 players of all time, and Magic and Kareem, arguably. Hall of Fame coach, Hall of Fame GM and Jerry West, Hall of Fame owner.
Yeah, that's a definition.
They were so famous that even the Forum Club at the Forum was famous.
Yeah.
They started the Laker
The
Girls.
club is famous. Your lounge is famous.
It's the 80s,
remember going there with my
the
dad.
Lakers in the 80s, like it was the Hollywood sexy 80s that is one of the most talked about eras like in modern history. So and they're in the center of that. So and on top of that, they beat 3 teams who are considered in the top 10, 12 teams of all time in the Celtics, Pistons, and the Sixers, who all won championships in that same little. They got the rest of the championships. We got 5. They got the rest of them. So it's the 80s Lakers with no doubt. Period.
All right.
Okay, I'll take
let me just say-
I'll take that 80s
we're gonna be
Lakers
on the same page.
and let you be in the conversation. But the reason
I got real facts.
that it's not that Lakers team because they were the biggest name in America. When the Bulls came along, they're the biggest in the world. That's the huge difference.
Where'd you go outside of America at that time to know how big they were?
Michael Jordan.
We didn't even have the internet.
Listen.
We didn't even have the internet. So
Listen.
like, how you know? See,
The
this is what I'm talking
name,
about. This is-
I'm giving you back. The name, the most popular names in the world during that time, number 1,
When?
Mickey
In the
Mouse.
90s? In the 90s?
Number
Mickey
2,
Mouse and Mike.
Michael Jordan.
Michael J. Fox.
He was bigger than Mike. He was bigger than
Michael
Mike
J.
Jack.
Fox. Nigga, Michael Jackson.
No. That was 1A and 1B.
Jordan.
Jordan and Jackson was 1A and 1B. They were both there.
Until,
was right there.
I'll give you
until
that.
Michael kept winning. Right? The Jordan and Jackson video was huge for his brand, obviously, but the Bulls kept winning after that. He kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Hey, listen, look. Wait, yes.
And bigger.
We
30
agree.
years later.
You're talking about a
We
brand.
agree. We on the same page.
They
And the
created
reality-
a
brand. He
brand.
took a
The
brand.
Lakers were a brand in the 80s because they were huge. That's what we're
Facts.
saying. They had a club. They had all things. They were huge in America. This is around the world, the planet itself.
I'm
That's
judge
hard,
that.
hard to argue.
The reality of it is he took off 2 years, and I know you said they lost when he came back, but he was off for a
That
year.
don't count.
It
You
don't
know that
count.
don't count.
They won.
And it's half the season.
Look. They would have won. I don't care what anybody say. They would have won 8 in a row, and that's based off the fact that the first 3 they won. None of his chips went to 7 games. They won easily in every championship they was there. So you ain't gonna convince
You
me.
can't count what you ain't got.
That's true.
Okay. thank you.
Right, we
The-
agree on
the
that.
6
We're
is
talking
enough,
about
though.
ifs.
We don't even
But-
need- you don't
right,
even need to
6 is
count
enough.
that. You don't even need to count that.
But think about this. It's simple facts. They won 3 in a row.
He took off 2 years, and as soon as he got back in his groove,
We
they
back-
won
we back-
another 3
we
in a
back
row.
on top.
So that already tells you what would have happened if he had stayed on that same trajectory.
You can't count what you ain't
Hey,
got.
he got 6 though.
Okay, I will say
Look.
this. I think Jordan I don't know what percentage, part of those breaks was, this is heavy. Like the mental toll of winning like that has to be so much that, hey, you may want to look for a way out if all other things are crumbling, like your contract situation, you're not feeling like we can't just discount, oh, I'm just bored. It's not just that. It's something he was carrying something too.
That gambling was heavy.
And don't
Huh?
forget,
That gambling was heavy.
It, was,
Okay,
it
but
wasn't
that
the
was.
gamble. It was
But that's part of the success you got to keep going.
It's part of the whole realm of who Jordan was. But when your parent passes away,
It's a
I
different-
think
it's a
you
different
have to
level
put
of thing.
that.
I give you that one.
You know, that's part of. This is different. This is not everything. I'm not bored. I could do this, but this is a little bit too much for me right now. You know what I'm saying?
And as much as that argument was amazing, Magic and them, they got 5. Jordan got 6. And he did it in a short time span.
And I'm
so
sorry.
we can't discredit that.
And not to go back, not to dog your Lakers, but you're not even number 2 because after the Bulls, Tom Brady's got 7.
In football.
In football,
With more
and
pieces,
they were
more moving
winning every single year. They didn't win the championship every year, but they were winning consistently regular season every single year. So they're number 2.
I'm going to respect the Brady thing. I don't have enough information to argue that. But I will say though, like,
Nothing. You can't say nothing.
I think
You want a piece of this?
I think the checkmate.
Okay, let's bring them two in. You can't start off going.
No. Listen, the checkmate though. The checkmate.
Well, we got time. We only have so much time.
Between the Bulls and the Lakers, like the Lakers didn't.
Come on, guys.
The Bulls didn't beat any top 10 teams. So I think that's the edge for the Lakers. They played teams that were considered the best.
That's not true. Number one, you
That's
know
why I
how
said
many
transition.
you know
Yeah,
how
I
many
knew.
Hall of Fame players in the NBA don't have a rings because they were playing when Jordan was playing.
First of all, the Suns
That's
was a
the
top
thing.
team in the NBA at the time when
Charles Barkley is
when the
great.
Bulls beat him.
He don't got no rings.
Mike beat
Karl
Charles
Malone
when
is
Charles was
great.
an MVP.
He ain't got no rings.
Charles won MVP that year.
Yeah.
And Mike
they
beat
don't
him.
got rings because of
Okay,
Mike.
we respect. We don't want to go more vertical. We want to go horizontal. Like somebody, please give me.
I'm gonna destroy all these answers. Destroy all of these answers. You kidding me?
I know you gonna talk about.
You guys are only talking about men's sports. UConn.
I'm not against it, but I'm like nobody's mind.
UConn women's basketball. UConn women's basketball.
I'll give you an
hands
applaud
down,
for that.
Better than Lakers. Better than
Let's
Bulls.
not use the word better.
Okay, well, we're
Let's
talking about
not-
dynasty. We're talking about dynasty.
We were talking
Dynasty.
pro sports. I think,
2000.
but go ahead.
But go ahead.
Go
We're gonna
ahead.
let you live.
2002, 2024, you have Breanna Stewart, four-peat. I think the only team that's had a four-peat in the 2000s. Yes. And she won four times in a row.
I feel like blowing my whistle, throwing my flag because this is college, but I'm like, I'm gonna let it live. Because then we go
Gotta
to
give
them
some love to the
ain't it like a
unrivaled
D2
league?
school that
That
wins an
hasn't
actual
lost in
championship?
like 8 years or something.
like,
And speaking about Jordan, Maya Moore, first female basketball athlete to be on the Jordan brand.
So how you gonna be better than Jordan when you wearing this shoe?
I'm about to say, like now he pandering. They're like, oh, am I more like, can you sign this check?
Give some love to women athletes.
Oh man.
Enough said.
I mean, give me a pro women's sport or athlete like, man, I don't know.
Serena Williams. She's up there. She's in
No,
the top 5.
Simone Biles.
Serena's
If you're going to women's
Dynasty
individual,
team.
No.
Let's not change the conversation so we can.
You know,
make
he a
sure
tennis
it's
player.
balanced.
He a tennis
It
player.
don't have to be balanced. First
He
of all.
went right to that
I
individual
have 3
sport.
daughters. They ain't got to be in every conversation. Sometimes it's just about MJ. Like, you know what I mean? Like, give me a pro women's team
That did that.
that is a dynasty.
They don't have pro women's sports like that, so the conversation's done.
tougher for
well, U.S. women's soccer was
Not a
kind of a
dynasty.
dynasty. They were tops in the world, but
Nobody ever
All right,
heard
what's
of
your
it.
answer then? We ain't got to discover one. What's your answer?
I don't have one.
You have an answer?
What?
To the women's dynasty?
No.
Overall.
The overall dynasty is the Bulls. There's no question about that.
I gotta go with.
There's no
I
question
thought we were
about
talking
that.
about like the overall team dynasty, but if I gotta go to this a certain period, I gotta go with the Patriots too. I mean, what Tom Brady did, Bill Belichick did during that time, and me being a part of it and seeing it, I mean, it's just, I mean, it was just amazing, man.
What did
Yeah, I
you
felt-
what did you
they
feel like
assaulted
when
y'all.
y'all was playing them that week? Like the championship run, Patriots is coming
I've
into
always
the building this
wanted. I was always hyped to step and pumped up for that game because I've always wanted to beat Tom Brady. I never beat Tom Brady in my career. I've always wanted to beat Tom Brady, say I did
He
it.
owns you, son.
Yeah.
I at least beat Brady, I think. I'm guessing. I don't think I beat him either.
I ain't beat Brady. I ain't beat Brady.
He ain't got a lot of
I came
losses.
close. I came close, but then it was like, I'm gonna be like what I think Philly's gonna feel in on the sideline.
In the Super Bowl?
In the Super Bowl. Oh,
Can't beat-
shit.
that's what I'm saying.
Oh, shit, we gave Brady the ball back. Oh, shit.
You know
Hey, and
what
I
it was.
sat there hoping and praying, but in the back of my head, I'm like, Brady about to
Yeah,
do Brady
dog.
magic.
But
know
you
what it
can't
is.
beat 2 3-peats. 2 3-peats.
Well, I mean, the old Celtics
That's
can.
crazy.
They win like 8 in a row.
Yeah, but they were dribbling with one hand in a
I
circle.
know. Look, I
and,
can
and weren't no black people playing.
But well, they had a black
Except
player
for
coach,
one.
so there was
For one.
No, so,
You know.
But I hear you. I
They were-
hear you. Well, we're gonna transition. Speaking of black people, we gotta have a conversation about profanity, but more importantly, the N-word. Now, this is a word that was near.
I was gonna say it. I'm gonna excuse myself.
Oh,
I don't want you to
sit
crucify.
down, dude. Hey, my ninja. Oh, that's that racist, right? Hey.
That was good.
Hey, what he do with the minutes? He's like, yeah, I cut
Right.
Hey, I am not the type to leave anything off the table. So we putting on the table the use of the N-word. Now, this is a word that I used to love blindly, I think. I mean, I just was in it. Like, I just said it because we said it. And then I woke up, my wife checked me over a series of months. She was like, you know what you're saying? And you know how you sound. And I was like, first, you know, me, what? I've been saying this ain't nothing. And then she's from Canada. So she was like, from an outside black perspective, you sound like this. So that got my spidey senses up. Never were they sharp. Never were they on alert. And now everywhere I'm going, when I'm out, I'm also hearing the word. But now I'm looking at them different. I'm like, you sound different. Ooh, that's a lower vibration, frequency. Oh, man. And what if my kids hear? Like, I don't know. I just got self-conscious. And, oh, look at me. Oh, he John Coltrane there. Right, all right, so Richie, you're ready. I now don't use the N-word. I also am not, I'm not the kind that stops you from using the word too. I'm not Sharif and Menace. I'm not gonna be Salaikum Salaming you on the cooler instead of passing you the brew, right? I'm gonna give you the brew, but I'm hearing you, and I'm like, I'm off of that. What do you feel about the N-word?
I'm the same way you are now. I'm not gonna debase you because you are using it, because some people grow up using it. Mm-hmm. Where I grew up, it was taboo, and it was.
Oh, it was taboo. Now, it's because you're older than us, blah blah blah. Or why? Was it taboo?
Probably. And the people I grew up around were civil rights leaders.
Oh, okay.
You know, and they were people.
Golly. Civil War family.
Yeah, I mean, seriously. I'm from Chicago. I'm from Chicago, and that's
like I used to babysit Dr. King.
well. Yesterday we were watching the football game, right? And the NFL does a whole commercial with "I am somebody." That's Jesse Jackson. I am somebody. That was all Jesse Jackson, right? So I grew up around Jesse Jackson and Reverend Lowry from the Southern Christian Leadership Conference and Dick Gregory and all those people.
And they didn't use the N-word?
No, they absolutely.
I mean, like in real life.
In real
Dick
life.
Gregory did, didn't he?
Definitely did.
Not in my
I'm not
house.
talking
He did.
public persona. I'm talking about like
In real life.
Hey,
No,
Hey, as soon as
in
you
real
left,
life he
as soon as
didn't.
you left, he said, "This nigga."
I'm glad. My bad.
But it was all about fighting for representation. And I don't think the fight for representation and for acknowledgement is the same now as it was. And I think that has led to a little bit more of a casual use of the word. And if somebody wants to use it in a familiar setting, if you want to say that to Hatch or whatever, okay, that's fine. But it's not me.
And you gonna go?
No.
So you're hitting it from like from you being an older person, and I love your perspective. And my perspective is the older I'm getting now, I'm trying not to use it at all, and because of the position I'm in too, because I'm coaching these high school kids, and they saying it so much, and I'm trying to make sure because I'm telling them don't say it. So what I gotta do if I'm gonna tell them don't say it, I got to make sure my ass ain't saying it too. So I've been finding myself really trying to catch myself now because I do. No, I still, I'm not, you're trying. I never said I was there.
Yeah.
I'm trying. And around us, I don't correct myself as much as when I'm with the kids. When I'm with the kids, I'm more on point. And I do slip up a lot now, but I am trying now. And I'm always, when I'm at the school, I'm like, hey, stop saying it. Stop saying it. Stop saying it. And then it gets to a point where I just get so mad when I see the people that aren't black say it.
Right.
And that's one thing that gets me so bad. And then that's another reason why I am trying my hardest to not say it as much. Because I see that too and I feel like I'm a hypocrite. I'm gonna contradict myself if I would never speak up and say that too because my temper is too short. Somebody says the wrong thing to me, I'm boom, and I gotta get home to my kids. That's my main mission. So maybe I hear it, I'll let it go, but I am really trying to make a conscious effort of not saying that anymore. And I do it more when I'm around the kids, but I got to do it more when I'm not around the kids, because I do catch myself doing it a lot more when I am.
Yeah, because
I said right now, you ain't gonna never get there.
No, I said when I'm around the kids. I said that. I said when I'm around the kids, I'm way more alert and way more on it than when I'm around all these people. You done took your 10th piss break, man.
Oh, no.
All right? So you look at the joint. You missed it. Hey, because look, before you called me out, he called me out immediately, so I had to make sure. Which I appreciate you though, because I'm still a work in progress. But when I am around the kids, I'm way better. Because I'm thinking about it a lot more than when I am. Than I am when I'm here. But
it was his son's birthday, and you, happy birthday, Lundy.
That's not trying. That's not trying.
You gonna believe him?
That ain't trying.
You gonna believe him?
That ain't trying, dog.
You gonna believe him?
You gotta do better, dog.
What version is that? What version is that?
That's the nigga version.
Hey,
Y'all stupid. Y'all stupid. I'm listening. Look, the layer of it is there's an energy with words, right? People always say the power of words. I like to really go to energy, but I'm not going to argue the semantics. What I've noticed is, I think the craziest part about it is, if you don't even think power or energy in words, why agitate it when non-ninjas use the N-word? If it has nothing, the word is devoid of any meaning, okay? That's why I'm saying to those people, I want that to be a part of this conversation. Like, you're using it, and they can't use it, and you signing off on it, how you feel about it all?
I mean, a lot of it is within context. I mean, and that is it's such a gray area. But I do believe music plays a lot into that because it's the biggest songs got it in every song. So if somebody's a fan of a song, whether you black or not, naturally, whether you saying it publicly, you might be saying it in your house.
So you saying Eugene and John, when they in their car,
they running it off. They saying it from their soul. They say,
we in Paris. They in Paris.
You can't convince me that you're not saying it. You're not gonna convince me that you're not saying it in your house. But that's why I said it's context.
Ball so hard,
because I know Eugene. I know it's all good intentions. But in your house, you probably run that when that song come on. It's part of the song.
I mean, you can't censor yourself that much on some of these songs.
It's part of the song.
You won't say any of the words if you censor all the
It's part of the song.
But
I think you got to base it off of somebody's like knowing that person. It's just like, if you grew up in the hood, there's always that one white kid that grew up in the hood with you.
Oh, yeah.
And he gets the pass.
White Mike.
We can act like he don't get the pass. We can act like he don't get the pass, but he gets the pass.
Yeah,
he gets the pass because he's growing up with you. He's on the same block. He's going through the same stuff. Yep. So you know if he says it, he's not saying it with the intentions of Right. He's saying it because he's from that environment. Like, it's as natural
Yeah, but
to
that
him
environment
as it is to
doesn't make
everybody.
you a ninja.
That's true. But it's hard. I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree. But it's hard to tell that to somebody who's growing up just like you. I agree with you, but it's hard to tell somebody that's
It's not
growing up
hard.
just like you.
No, it's not hard, and there's no gray area.
It's not hard for us,
Yeah,
but for
and
somebody.
for
and I'm not
anybody in the
co-signing
world,
it.
it's not a gray area. You know you can or you cannot, right?
I
So
agree. I agree.
can you go to Beverly Hills right now, 6,000 square foot home, and walk into a white person's house?
No.
Okay, it's no gray. So we're saying the same.
Hold on, what if it's your homie? I
No,
know,
yeah.
wait a minute.
Well, if you don't know them, if you don't know,
Well, you know what? He can't walk in my house either. And I got more than 6,000 square feet.
walking into my house and saying, "Curve."
You can't. None of y'all can.
Hold on, why would you walk into
Why would
a white person's neighborhood
You had me
and
until you
walk
said I
out?
walk in
Why would
somebody-
you walk into the house though?
Well, I'm
Ain't nobody
saying
walking in nobody's house, first of all.
Exactly,
Or
that's
they
what I'm
gonna get
saying. Why-
something.
the
Why would
word is our house.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. You can't do that. You can't walk into my life, my culture, how I grew up, how I get looked at. You can't walk into that just because you feel like walking in it today or because you heard a song. That's not allowed.
And Hatch, the individual white kids that grew up in neighborhoods on the south side of Chicago were typically smart enough to know they couldn't say it. Right. And to know that what the plight of the black person was and what that would make somebody feel. So typically where I came from, if it was that one individual white cat or Asian cat or Latino cat in the black neighborhood, they weren't saying it.
No. After the age of 4, you know not to say it.
Felt what you were feeling.
So
They
at
felt
8, if
more
you
like
say
a
it, at
ninja.
12, at 16, you know there's consequences.
I agree.
But
I think.
what are
I
we
think-
feeling? Like, I mean, this whole like this whole glue adhesion. Like, I'm black, plight, black. Look at these synonyms. They're horrible. Plight, like poverty a lot of times, poor, underserved, underprivileged, inner city. Like it's like
negative term.
But I'm saying it in, since I'm black, I think the word has a negative connotation. Why do you think that I'm absolved so I can use it because I have a plight? Like, what about I'm black and I'm affluent? What about I'm white, but you and I are like brothers, as he said?
I think it plays into where you're from and how you were raised. Because as we all said here, as you get older, you try to step back from it a little bit because the logic in you is like, hey, I'm more professional, understand that this word, it carries in a way that it shouldn't as you get older. But if you grew up in that and everybody around you has been saying it from childhood, I mean, that's regular conversation. So when you're around your homies, is
that maturity or are you selling out? You losing touch?
I think it's just
you ain't down.
I think it's maturity because, but
I think it has to do with what you growing up in. Because
I think that plays a role in that.
My son was shit. He heard me fuck.
Hold on. You gotta use your commas. You gotta use your commas.
That's why that's why it matters where you grew up at, right there. That matters.
You gotta put a little bit to that because you definitely right. Because one time I came home and my son didn't know I was at the house. And he's upstairs playing video games with his friends. Like they're on the and he cursing like a grown man. Like I ain't missing a beat. And I was up there, I said, niggas.
That's exactly what he said. That's exactly what he said.
That's exactly what he said.
Facts.
Where you learn all that and get so good at it? And he looked right at me. That's why I said I'm trying to do better. I'm trying to do better, but my son ain't grew up in no hood. He ain't grew up in nothing, but he done seen me. He done seen me and my cousins. He done seen me and my homies. And he thinks that's the norm. And then he gets around his friends, and that's what I'm hearing. I was a little shocked because he was so good. I'm like, God.
But I think
he hold his own. I'm holding his own while I'm creeping up the stairs. But
I'm gonna say this one thing. I'm passing it off to you. I think age and time plays into this because now it's in every song, but 20, 30 years ago, it wasn't in every song as much. So it did matter where you grew up and how, like that was in the neighborhood in the conversation. Now it's every song you hear it, so it don't matter. So like MJ hear it now,
No,
Like, it's
I
in
don't.
every song now.
It's in every song then. 30 years ago.
Not as
There was
much.
a group
Not as
called
much.
Not
as much.
W.A. And
Right,
they said
that's
it.
one song, but it wasn't
one
across the
group.
board. It wasn't
Yeah.
in songs as much as it is now.
Yeah.
They were still trying to censor songs back then.
Yeah, trying.
Failing. But now they're not. They're not trying it at all.
2 Live Crew. I could keep going.
They
Like,
went to court for that.
but
That's what I'm saying.
But you're saying them trying to stop what was happening. That and look, the reason it was because it was first, but it was prevalent. Like I'm older than all of y'all.
I agree. That's what I'm
So, well, never mind. But point being, growing up, it was me using that word. And let me hear you. We got to say, but we got a little sub point right there going on. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
you know what's very interesting? Okay, we've all done well and tried to bring up our kids in the best way, right? And our kids go to these private schools that are elite and, you know, got these reputations. And having a daughter who's an athlete, that'd be at track meets and stuff at schools, and you would almost all the time I would run up against a group of kids, and it may be 2 black kids and 3 white kids, or a couple of and the black kids are always using the N-word because they think it's going to make them seem cool, until I give them the side eye and look at them and say, hey man, if your parents were here, would you be saying that? And then they shrink. And they start thinking about it. And I would go right, and I would go out of the way.
I walk through the high school when I go up there, walk to the weight room, walking. I hear the white kids, I hear the Mexican kids saying it, and I'll look and maybe give them a little look, but I'm not about to. I don't got time to stop there. And another thing is, I don't want to stop there and they give me the wrong reaction, and I gotta react the wrong way. So I rather know because I gotta hold it in. See, y'all don't understand. Marcel ain't the only one that knows how to turn it on and turn it off. I definitely do. Believe me, I definitely do. But now when I'm in high school, I'm a different person. Because one thing I'm already doing is I'm walking with my head down anyway. Because them girls is half naked. Ain't nobody gonna ever say that. No, I'm serious. Ain't nobody ever gonna say.
We'll have that convo.
No, ain't nobody ever gonna say coaches peeing or coach. I got 2 daughters. Yeah. And ain't nobody. I walk with my head down and I hear coach. My head go right back down. But I hear those while I'm walking through, and I might look at them. But I'm gonna keep it busy because that kid might be waiting on me to say something so he can pop off, like, you know, or he might say the wrong thing, and I know the way I'm gonna react. So instead of me even addressing that in my head, though, I'm thinking what you're thinking. Like, man, I wish he would be educated. Or I wish I would say that, but I just gotta avoid some situations because I just know me. I don't know how these kids are gonna react. These new kids are just so.
I need that. I like that. I need Justin to explain that same group of 5 that you run across, and you hearing the 2 kids trying to overcool it by saying N-word every other word, and you're like, well, depending on where you are, because I caught some of that. I've been to certain places where the parent, the adult, the wise person is disregarded. Like, I don't want to hear it, and who knows or if you're right or wrong. I'm not even respecting my elders, let alone you ain't gonna stop me from doing what I want to do. What was your response? It sounded like you had one.
I just say it's a little tricky because, like, depending on where you grew up, if you grew up in in a nicer neighborhood, you're not hearing it as much. You're still hearing it. You hear it in the music. But when you in the middle of the hood, the parents are saying it. Yeah. The parents, everybody. So the kid is picking up that same language because their mom and dad are saying it. So when you say, oh, you go to school, and it's like, oh, you shouldn't be saying that. It's like my mother and father saying it. How you gonna tell me I can't when everybody around me is doing it?
Say nothing to the kid.
But that's what I'm saying. So that's why I say it does play into where you from and how you're raised. Because we can say, yeah, it's all in the music, but it goes deeper than the music.
It really does. And we have so many ways.
It's a cultural thing.
It's weird. This is the thing I noticed so much. And we're gonna have so many of these type of conversations. Here's one, peep game. When you out here in the burbs, like you go out in the street, it's quiet for real. Or quieter than when I go back home, like where I'm from.
Right.
And the first thing I notice is when I get to a red light, boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, I don't hear that in the Encino. Like,
right.
No one has sounds in the Encino, right? Like, I mean, but
it's different.
Rare.
It's different.
Oh, it's him.
It's different. I'm gonna give you an example. When I like
I don't mean to take us off the N-word, but the point is there are so many of these like microcultural symbols that like N-word to me is like a symbol of like, you know what, you know. And I'm like, no, we don't all know. And that's what I want to kind of have a conversation on.
When I'm out here and I go to my house and my kids are outside, there's barely any kids there. It's quiet. You can barely hear anything. When I go back home to New York and I go to my parents' house and I pull up on their block, as soon as I get out the car, I'm hearing it every Queens. So as soon as I get out the car, Jamaica, Queens specifically, South Side, we outside. So as soon as I get out, it's ringing off. It's every other word. But that's the environment I'm from. So I get it. Like that's it. But if you only in one environment and that's where you've been your whole life, that's all you know. So it's hard to tell a kid that that's all they know, everything they hit, that they hear this every day, to tell them that they're wrong for saying this.
Are they hearing?
'Cause that's their culture.
All they know and hearing. I'm not even saying I'm right in my judgment of the word is bad. Because sometimes you talk to somebody and they be like, oh man, you got to go way back into when it was niggas. And I'm like, all right. I hear you. But my point is I don't use it because I know, the reason I don't use it is because it doesn't have a universality to it. I can't let everyone share in this experience, so I think something's wrong with it. It's fractured. If Eugene or John can't say it, then what we doing here, right? Because imagine if they flip it on me, Marcellus, chill. I'll be like, dog, I'm not chilling then.
What if they're not here? Do you still say
No, I don't. No, I don't. I don't.
That's the
but
maturity. That's the maturity.
That's maturity.
But I don't think I don't use it to you, and my thoughts on.
Maturity. I don't curse, but I use the N-word.
Right.
So I was not mature. I don't want to put a label on that neither.
Is the word bad?
And I was going to say real quick, it may not be a maturity thing, but let's say Eugene and John is not in the room, and everybody is in here saying it. Nobody is looking at anybody with a side eye.
I am.
Why are you talking like that?
I am.
You might be the only one.
No.
Everybody else is like, everybody else is like, I get it. Like nobody's faulting you. It's like I get it. But then when the dynamics of the room changes, then the conversation is different.
I think it's like we almost like that's the black password, or like password being black. Yeah. All right, so then we all cool with it. And my conversation is with you. Is it a bad word? Is it an okay word? Is it a good word? Is it a unifying word? Is it a divisive word?
It's a term of endearment when you're talking to another
amongst others. Yeah.
But everyone feels love from it?
No. That's my perspective, and that's my answer. And so it's something good when I say it.
Okay.
Right.
Do you feel that
Something good, Hatch?
Something good.
I feel like it's a term of endearment.
Why can't you say my man?
Because I don't want to.
He said my
Which I say it's different. My man.
Is it that you don't want to, or that you're so accustomed to saying one thing that doesn't come to you?
He said my man.
I do say that a lot though. I say that my man a lot to be honest with you.
They don't hit the same.
I don't even think about not saying it.
Because sometimes I don't catch that I'm saying the N-word so much until somebody tells me. Because I'm so accustomed.
Because you're accustomed to it.
That's why when I am at the schools, I'm watching. So it's been a couple times where I'm about to say, little.
Yeah.
Hey, just go over there. You know what I'm saying?
Mature, if we're talking about maturity, yes, if I walk into a meeting with the CEO of Sony, am I go, what's up, my nigga? No, I'm not that dumb or ignorant or whatever you want to say.
Okay, why? Why don't you do that? What if he's black? What if he's black?
Because that's not appropriate.
So the word's not appropriate, but you use it.
Outside of us.
No, he's saying he's
black. He's black.
Still
Black CEO.
Right, but it's not appropriate during the situation.
So it's not professional.
It's not professional.
Okay. It's
At that moment,
I get it.
Now, if you and the same CEO are out somewhere at 11 p.m. and you say it to each other, then it's appropriate to me. That's my perspective.
I smell it.
No, yeah, I feel you too. Because I done find myself when we at practice and when the JV coaches come, I ain't seen. I be, what's up, my nigga? Oops. Damn,
It's out.
Okay.
But I think you have to at least put a bug in the ear of the youngsters, DP. You're around young people, and you have to at least, you don't have to beat them over the head with it, but you got to try to shape their minds a little bit. And now that you have evolved into this, then why not share that with them and say, hey man, you know.
Yeah, I definitely do. And one thing I love
Hey,
about
first of all, you go to any school and say, "Hey man, you have lost them kids."
Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
no, but I
Can you dig it, man?
Hey guys, oh guys, they're like, man, look at this mother.
Well, have you, or are they looking for something different?
No.
They're looking.
Okay, well, I know we got more narps that want to jump in on this.
I just want to say this real quick. I mean, all of the words are unprofessional. Even you saying the F word, you saying all of it. It kind of depends on what setting you use it in.
Yeah, but I let white people say F word back.
Right, but that word is, but that's a cultural thing. And remember, it started off as an insult, and as culturally, we flipped the meaning of that.
We said we did. I don't know if we did.
Amongst us, it is different. Amongst us,
outside
of us is different.
Half the fights black on black are with the N-word in it too.
But do you get offended when another black person says it to you? You don't. No, you don't. Stop.
Hold on. What does offended mean to you? To me, it makes me say, "Dog, you ain't full yet," because you won't let this word that you saying to me in love be shared by somebody who don't look like me.
But do you feel if another black person says that to you?
I
heard you, but I want to be.
You know what I think the biggest question is?
I want clarity.
You know what I think the biggest question is? Will you be offended if a black person corrected you and said, "Why you keep saying the N-word?" I wouldn't be offended because I know I'm working on it. I know I'm working on it. I know I'm trying, but I know some people do take that as offense. Like they say, "Nigga, why are you trying to be?"
But that's immaturity.
You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why I don't argue it, but don't think I ain't thinking it. Like I've seen,
Take that criticism.
Yeah,
I'm working on it.
I've seen people. Look, we see it all the time. You can see. I've seen a pregnant woman smoke before, and look, like,
well, it's offensive.
Like for real, like, and I'm looking like. I mean, we've all been in the store and seen somebody just snap on their kid because the kid just wants ice cream. And I understand you yelled at him in the car not to ask for anything before you get in that store, and then he did because he's a kid. And then you lost your mind, maybe because, look,
You never know what else going on in their life.
I know what's going on in their life. I was that kid at the time. Like mama said, we only got $38 to get all this, and we ain't got the 39th.
So don't be asking for nothing.
But mama, you said that before. I saw that Baskin Robbins, that ice cream, that Thrifties. Right, and the register. So that's why they put it at the register. That's the last thing to get them. That's how they get you. So, but back to the N-word. My judgments and thoughts are not to be always shared. But in this forum, I'm gonna tell y'all what I really be thinking. I'm like, damn, dog. Like, I ain't looking down on you. I'm just like, you ain't taking that everywhere. So you kind of like a piece of yourself everywhere you go.
You want to know why I started the habit? If you really want to be honest to oneself, like why did you start saying the word? And I know why I started. Growing up with more white people, right? The town over was more black people. So when I'm with them, I want to say it more.
Yeah.
The first 10,000 times I said it, I had the ER on the end. So I said it more and more and more. And now that I get to say it, now I sound cool saying it. That's probably why I say it all the time. So you're right.
And
I don't even hear myself saying it.
And a couple of times
at this point in my life.
But Hatch, you put yourself in that shoes too. I find kids too, when they are in that predominantly white people, they want to say it more because, hey, I can say it, you can't. I can say it, you can't. So I'm gonna keep saying it. Oh, we us in this group, we the only black people at the school. We gonna say it as much as we can because we gonna yell it. We gonna say it as much as we can because y'all can't say it, and we dare one of y'all to try to say it.
It'll be a fight, instantly.
That's just the sad part of the world we live in. You know?
Yeah. I mean, growing up in South Carolina, I mean, it was in those neighborhoods. You would say it like I grew up in a majority black neighborhood. It was very segregated as far as neighborhoods, just like it is out here, I'm sure, when you guys were growing up. But it's just. You don't have a problem with when you grow up with it and everyone's saying it on the school bus, on the way to school, on the way back home from school, at football practice, in the locker room, and all those things. And granted, you do have people from other ethnicities on the team, but they already understand, just like adults do now, you can't say it. Now, granted, the older you get, you have kids, and the perspective is now, it's like, man, it's like I went to a football practice. I went to a training session for football, and they have like the older high school kids and like junior college football athletes out there, and every other word was that. And I was just like, I'm old.
because I don't like it. I understand it. I was like, I don't like hearing it. I almost went over and said, and then next time, I think because of this conversation, I think next time I do hear it, I think I'm gonna walk over and speak up and just like, hey man, like y'all bring it in right quick. This ain't cool. This isn't how you get to the next level. This isn't gonna help you. You gotta be able to find other words to use at some point. And I think at the end of the day, if we want to change the culture around the word, it's up to us. So when we hear that, like when DP said, like if you hear it, you gotta address it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
what's
Even
interesting about it?
You can say something cool and say like you can say, hey.
This is why I know the word is. Look, my judgment is I know the word is not good.
Yeah.
And everyone is going to give their reason why or validation or justification. But here's the truth: if it's something I got to leave in certain places of my life, if it's something I got to leave behind me, if I'm really living up to my potential, then it's not it. But look. Do not let me give you a life lesson when we just walk in the AAU game. But when I'm walking by you and you do it and you say, do you side eye? I'll be like, yeah. I'm like, I know he's young and I know why he caught up like that. But I'm like, I look forward to the day he ain't there. Because sometimes you walk into an adult environment. I've seen this. This is the one that really hurts me. A coach is coaching some kids and I show up and he N-wording the kids. And I'm like, one, I'm already looking at you like, can you even coach? And two, not only are you probably can't coach, now you're taking them kids a step back or giving them something they armed with that they're gonna have to leave somewhere or at certain places.
Well, this is the thing, like we're not, it's an evolution, right? Like I'm sure at 50, you didn't have the same perspective you have right now when you were 25.
That's why
you see what I'm saying? So it's evolved, but somebody at some point, like Anna Marie came and said to you, like, hey, that's not cool. I'm from Canada, I'm black. And but that accountability is the reason why you changed. Yeah. If she wouldn't have said anything to you, you wouldn't have changed. You'd be out here just every other
All right, let's swap it out.
I know you about to switch. I just was this real
Man,
thing.
hold on, we gotta stop this.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey, we
switch.
gotta share the
We switch it out.
You ain't nothing but him.
But I had a good point.
On the way out, let me hear it.
I just want to say, it reminds me of the conversation we had last week when we were talking about the Angel Reese thing, and you was asking from the father's perspective versus the businessman perspective. Yeah. It's just like now, and he touched on it, which I was about to say. When you're older, you look at that situation differently from when you was younger. So now, yeah, it's easy to say, oh, you shouldn't say that. But if you grew up in that all this time, 20 years ago, you wasn't thinking like that.
I love you.
So we get it's a gauge.
Best example.
No, I'm not using Angel Reese.
You just said Angel Reese.
No, what I'm saying is.
Because I have a daughter that's 25 and at 21 she wasn't.
All you heard was Angel Reese. I'm talking about the context of it is depending where you are in life. Versus father versus businessman, depending on what side of the coin you are, is how you look at it. What I'm saying now, as when you're older, you look at it differently from when you were younger. So when you're in your 20s and 30s, you hear kids running that off. You're not thinking like that. Now, because you're in a different stage in life, you look at it in a different way. So I just feel like it's tricky depending how you gauge kids and how you look at kids.
Look, I'm about to be petty. I was a young father. I was a young businessman. So when you said that, the reason I'm like, I've been this for a long, like I was a young father and businessman saying the N-word. Right. And then I was like, oh, those titles didn't change. Those roles didn't change.
And then you got older.
Right.
You
so
matured.
It was really a maturity. That's my point. And it's some people who are in mature environments, like let's be real, it's black people who don't use this N-word from hello. If you better not. Right? And so I want to give them a little space and kind of some light too. Like it's not all just.
But it is definitely where you go, because I didn't start trying to correct myself until I started coaching these kids. And I'm like, man, I can't say it around them. And I got to be an example. And that's when I really started looking at it and making it a priority in my life, even though I still got a lot more work ahead of me though. But when I'm around them, I'm good.
I love that. I love that. We have a few more minutes left before we shut it down. And you sure? Yeah, hey, you this close to the finish line. I'm messing with you, John, because that's the point of it. Like, I just look at the world. I look at it like with a perspective. Let's hear this. Good Lord.
All right. So.
What if he said, I
thought he was going there.
No.
Oh, he said, no. That was the end came out. I was like, oh, I'm sorry.
I grew up just south of Detroit. Dad grew up in Detroit. The first thing he said to me as he's dropping me off at University of Michigan, he said, there's two types of people in this world.
Uh-oh.
He said, two types of people.
Damn, we going there.
Yeah. He said, there's there's good people. And he said,
I didn't know.
There's N-word. And I've never grown up with black people where I grew up.
Yeah.
And I've never said it. I don't say it. And for reasons, you see that. But it was more respect. And it's...
I hate to interrupt this dramatic moment. What were the two?
Yeah, what you said, normal?
Normal?
No, he said, there's black people.
Black people say this all the time. Black people say, your daddy, he's dropping game. Your daddy dropping game. Hey, you ain't never been somewhere, somebody be like, yo, it's
So
he said, yeah.
And he's introducing me to a world he shielded me from, right? And I think that's all about it. Is like, what have you seen and experienced, and then where do you want to go, right? Like, I don't say it, but when I see that CEOs are getting lambasted, right, and they're white guys who said it in out of context and all this are getting fired for this, like that.
Okay, let me push back, John. 'Cause on this show, you know, and you already know me. This is my boy. So I heard something, and this is what I don't have many like superpowers, but I think all of us have superpowers. And I tell kids all the time, you better find that superpower fast and go behind it in full passion and spirit. Stop, like we said last show, don't try to round yourself out. You fast, be fast. You know what I'm saying? Let's go from there. You said, and tell me, explain this to me. You said, I've never said it, and I don't say it. Never saying it, never said it would take care of I don't say it. But why? Now, the psychoanalysis 101, it'd be like, when you double down on something, there's usually a frailty, insecurity to it. And I don't want to press you like, dog, don't lie to me. Like, you know, leaving a concert, did you hit it? Like, you know what I mean? But it's okay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I wasn't there.
Yeah. But I think it's part of this conversation because when is it okay to say it if it's a song? I don't say it even in songs. And it's because it's just not what I say, right?
That's the toughest part. Okay, before we get to Terry, let me give it to you. All right, I appreciate it. I was at a Jay-Z concert, and I remember this kid walked up to me. He was like, white kid, maybe 10. He was like, oh, man, what's up, man? Respect. I'm a big fan of yours. And can we take a picture? And I was like, I was like kind of caught off because he was too young to be like, I thought somebody that knew me like that. I was like, oh, yeah, sure, no problem. Jay-Z concert, right? They go, and we taking the picture, and I really don't like taking pictures at concerts because I'm there for him, not this, and it turns into you take one, you take 1,000, right? And you're like, dog, I'm trying to do this. So then I'm like this. The kid spins around, gets someone his phone, they're taking forever to unlock it, and then it goes boom, 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 clap forward, and we about to take the picture, and the loudest end I heard came from this little dude I was hugging, this little like 10-year-old white dude. He said, and he like, and I'm like, I didn't squeeze him. I didn't check him. I just was like, wow, and it's echoing. And then you look in the crowd, of course, most of them don't look like me, right? This is Rose Bowl, so it's like 80,000 up in here. I mean, it could be a whole different animal. So I'm like, that's why, that was just an affirmation of, to me, that word is just weird. How I felt, and then what I saw and what I heard. And I was like, we'd be pissed off if one-on-one this was happening to us on the daily. So, Terry, you tell me, man, take us home with this N-word and how you use it or don't use it.
Well, you know what? You know, as somebody who's used it like most of his life freely, and I still use it sometimes. But there was one time in my 30s where I heard myself say it, like actually heard myself say it, and it didn't fit smoothly in my conversation. And that's when that was the day I was like, you know what, I don't think I need this in my vocabulary so much. Now, I will use it now, you know, it's a term.
No, relax.
No, I'm saying.
Still relax.
No. But what I'm saying.
That was a long week and a half.
No.
Golly.
What I'm saying though, in a term of endearment, if I'm saying, if one of my friends does something really dope, I might say, mind, you know what I mean? Or, you
Yeah,
know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But like in my everyday conversation, I had to taper that because at that time I heard me say it. And then what I have gone through,
I'm sorry, what was that that jumped in, out of the word that made you say, uh-oh?
I didn't
don't
need
like
it. I just said I didn't need it. Like I said it, and it didn't flow with the conversation. It didn't flow with the point I was making.
Feel none of that? It didn't represent you? Like, I'm trying to figure out what definition did you give the word in that moment that was different than 20, 30 years of your life?
It was a ping. It was a ping. Like, you know,
Opinion?
a ping. You know, a ping. Yeah.
Oh, ping,
Yeah, it was
okay.
a ping. It was like a ding. I don't need that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what I've had conversation with people who are not white, who have tried to use it around me, the question I always ask them is like, why do you want to say it? And they never have an answer.
Well, because they can't.
No, but I mean they can. But when you ask them why,
It's a racial thing, but 80% I can't do it, right?
I mean you can. But when you ask them why, there's never an answer.
Right.
And they stop doing it. You know what I mean? So it's like just to put a button. I think everything's been said today on that. So it's like when I heard myself say it, that's the day I changed. So.
I mean, we're going to have so many of these conversations of our paths, like we said before, we didn't necessarily have the conductor in front of us to navigate us to this level. Everyone in this room, man, I'm proud to say is really my friend, and you guys are all successful. And even if you're not, it's a conversation that we had to deal with when we were youngsters, how this world was respected, and now that we're older, how we're perceiving this world because we want to be respected, right? And that's what I want to do is like not avoid these conversations, not dance around these conversations, not ask a ton of questions so you don't have to leave your opinion in these conversations because those kids are next, if not now. And we've learned so much game, we should be able to give it back to them, man. So appreciate everyone out there rocking with us on the Rocks, episode 6. No.